Good evening and welcome to McLeod Athletic Park in Langley, British Columbia, Canada, as the Whitecaps FC 2 get set to host the Tulsa Roughnecks in some USL soccer action. My name is Corey Basso, your play-by-play man for this evening, alongside Michael McCall, my color man. And Michael, a rough 2-1 victory over the LA Galaxy last week keeps the Whitecaps FC 2 in the playoff hunt mathematically, but they'll need all 3 points here tonight against Tulsa to keep the dream alive.
Yeah, they definitely have to get another win in the books. If they can win out for the rest of the season, they've got a chance to make it into the playoffs again. Tough ask, but if they can get it done tonight against Tulsa, who's ahead of them in the standings, that's a great start.
Let's look at the players to watch for the Tulsa Roughnecks. It's Ian Svantesson.
Very talented striker, 10 goals in the season, the 8th highest scorer in USL at the moment. Scored 2 goals in the game in Tulsa back in May, earned Player of the Week honours for that performance. But scoreless in 4 now, and he'll be looking to get back on the score sheet tonight.
For the Whitecaps FC 2, it's the super sub, Gloria Amanda.
Gloria Amanda, a very talented striker out of Edmonton, been with the Whitecaps since he was 15. 3 goals in the year, match winner against LA in the last game, and he'll be looking to do the same tonight and get back in the scoring charts.
We'll come back with the starting 11 as well as the opening kickoff next, USL soccer between Vancouver and the Tulsa Roughnecks. There you heard it, the conclusion of the Canadian National Anthem as we welcome you back to McLeod Athletic Park here in Langley, British Columbia, Canada. The Whitecaps FC 2 getting set to take on the Tulsa Roughnecks in a little USL Wednesday night soccer action. My name is Corey Basso, your play-by-play man for this evening, alongside Michael McCall. And Michael, both teams desperate for 3 points, but no more than the Whitecaps FC 2 as they are mathematically still in the playoff picture, but desperate for 3 points here tonight.
Yeah, look at the standings. It doesn't look great from a Whitecaps aspect. Second bottom, 14th place. But if they can win the remaining 7 games, they really have a chance of making the cut. Tulsa Roughnecks ahead of them. 5th in the West right now. Looking kind of comfortable, but kind of perilous at the same time. 3 points tonight, massive for the Whitecaps.
Absolutely. Let's look at the Tulsa Roughnecks starting 11. And Michael, obviously Ian Svantesson, the player to watch, but any other selections that jump out at you amongst the starting 11 for Tulsa?
Well, you have Paris G making a return to BC, Whitecaps residency player. Had a year with the clan up at SFU and then went to play in Croatia for a couple of years. So he'll want to make a good return. I'm sure we'll have some family members out here tonight.
Absolutely, and we'll get to the home starting 11 as well. 5 changes from the last match, a 2-1 win over the Galaxy. 9 Canadians, all from residency in the lineup, Michael.
Very, very young Whitecaps team, although we kind of get to expect that with Whitecaps too this season. 6 teenagers in the lineup, both the Baldissimo brothers. You've got some old men in there like Marco Bustos at 21 now.
Yes.
It's incredible.
And obviously the player to watch that we highlighted in our prelims for tonight's matchup, Gloria Amanda, came on as the super sub last week, a 2-1 goal against the LA Galaxy to snatch away the 3 points. What does Gloria Amanda mean to the side, especially starting tonight?
Gloria's looked good this season. First season in USL after an outstanding couple of seasons with the residency. Joined the residency at 15. 3 goals in the year in USL. 16 goals last season for the under-18s. The season before that, he was in the 20s. He knows the way to go. He's going to want to kind of build on the little momentum that he's got now. Keeps his place in the starting lineup, and he'll be the guy that a lot of things go through tonight for the Whitecaps.
And one other notable starter for the Whitecaps as well is Brett Levi is obviously coming back from that injury. He has gotten some playing time since coming back from injury. It's his first start though. What can a healthy Brett Levi's bring to the table for Whitecaps FC 2?
A lot is the short answer. More detail, it's like he is a guy that is just great to see him back on the pitch again. He is such a talent. He's had a couple of minutes, as you said, under his belt, but I mean on the left, very attacking left back. He is a left midfielder, kind of by trade, has converted into the left back role. Expect to see him get up and down that left flank a lot during this game.
course, a swap in net from last week's win over the LA Galaxy. Of course, Spencer Ritchie between the sticks for that one. Tonight, Sean Melvin, number 40, gets the start, sporting an excellent Ian Rush-like mustache as well. What can he bring to the crease for the Whitecaps?
That's a very retro tash. It's like November has started a couple of months early for Sean Melvin. He's a good goal stopper. He's a big guy. He gets down well despite his height. Point blank range, he can produce some fantastic saves. So it's going to be an interesting game. I know you're expecting a back and forth, a bit of a barn burner.
Absolutely, absolutely. Alain Rouge blows the opening whistle as we're underway here at McLeod Athletic Park in Langley, and Tulsa will recollect in their own zone and get moving through Jorge Corrales, or George as it says on the stat sheet.
Good old George. The orange stands out tonight, which is pretty good considering the conditions outside. It's such a dark sky. It kind of feels like a November evening more than a September one.
Absolutely. I don't know if it shows on the visual here at USL Soccer, but it's definitely hazy. Some local forest fires in the area have kind of carried down, and it almost looks like an overcast kind of fall evening. Probably will look cool under the lights once the darkness tries to set in, but what do those conditions mean for play tonight, Michael? Will we see some winded players? Will we see some visibility issues?
It's very hot down there. I mean, going down before the match to do our intros, really warm. We said the last game, though, we expected the players not to keep the pace in the heat, and they did. It's even warmer tonight, I think, than the last match against LA, so a young Whitecaps team will benefit from that. They're young, they've got a lot of running in them.
As we see Tulsa regroup at the back through Modu, he'll pass it out right to Jaime Ayala, and a long ball forward looking for Sventesson. But Sean Melvin equal to the task, he'll just come out and calmly collect.
A couple of other things to watch out for tonight. There's 2 Whitecaps, 2 players, 1 yellow card away from a suspension. David Norman and Francis de Vries. If Norman picks another one up tonight, that would be his 2nd suspension of the season.
And as you mentioned, Michael, it's not really a Whitecaps FC 2 match unless David Norman picks up a yellow, is it?
Yeah, him and one of the Baldissimos. It's like, I'd get some money on that. That's definitely worth a little punt.
As we see the Baldissimos carrying forward, Gloria Manda now on the ball, through to Marco Bustos in the middle of the pitch. He'll play it back to Francis de Vries. Infield for the aforementioned David Norman Jr., not senior. Also quite the pepper pot was his father on the field, was he not?
Yeah, I think he's technically David Norman IV.
There you go. Counting down the Normans through the generations, Michael McCall. The ball's lumped forward, long and hard, to Joaquin Rivas. A little bit of a scrap in the middle of the pitch there. Baldissimo throws a leg in. So we look down at Corrales, Jorge Corrales. David Norman puts a tackle in, that'll go out into touch. One thing that is missing that you had mentioned, Michael, about the orange jerseys, the old skull, the sponsorship for Tulsa.
I'm missing that. They were my strip of the season last year. They're black strips with a white skull on it. It was some kind of liquor company. I can't remember exactly what one it was. That was a fantastic strip. So much so I almost bought one myself.
There you go, Michael.
So if anyone has any kicking around that they don't need anymore, you can just send them along.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As Taryn Campbell brings in field, he'll pass off to David Norman Jr. He's closed down quickly. Ian Sventesson getting to the ball, judged to have been fouled. No, he's not. The referee says play on. Looked like he did get fouled there. As Michael Baldissimo make that, Matthew Baldissimo will carry up now. Back to his brother Michael. That should be a fun task for us broadcasters, sorting out the Baldissimos on the same side of play, 1-digit number between them.
Yeah, if they're not facing us, if they're facing us, it's going to be tough. If their backs are to us, it's a little bit easier.
And Cole Seiler will play it to Michael now. He'll play it out wide to Caden Chung. Caden Chung will take on his man, elects to take it infield instead. Through to Matthew Baldissimo. And he'll play a long ball on the deck. It's through to Caden Chung. He's got to step on his man. But the goalkeeper, Stephen Cleveland, he'll come out and collect quite confidently. That looked like it might have been a break for Caden Chung, but the goalkeeper comes out early and makes the claim for the ball.
Yeah, and Chung playing an advanced role yet again. The last couple of months, we've seen him kind of move from the right back position to more of an attacking role on that right wing. He's had his ups and his downs, but I mean, he's been good the last couple of games. And just watching the replay here, bit of a burst of pace. He's in. First touch, I think, just let him down a little bit.
Did have a little bit of a heavy first touch, and the goalkeeper was ready to come off the line, and he just wanted to wait for that extra heavy touch, which he did get. The goalkeeper, Stephen Cleveland, comes out to collect. Kane Chung, though, obviously showing his pace on that effort for Whitecaps FC 2. 0-0 now in the 5th minute.
Chung, he's taken his opportunity because last season he did well at right back, but he was kind of burned a little bit. A lot of teams targeted him. They just saw his age and his size, and they thought that they could get the better of him, and a lot of teams didn't. But he did have a few torrid games this season as well. To start the season, they kind of did the same thing. So he's been moved more advanced, and it's a new role for him, and he seems to be thriving in it so far.
Caden Chung just committing the foul there in the middle of the park on Paris G. In a dangerous area too, especially with the tall man Ian Svantesson, who we outlined before this match. If he gets ahead on this ball, it could be dangerous. Looks like it'll be Juan Coffa standing over this one. He'll smash it in left-footed, it looks like. A little bit of pushing and tugging going on in the box. Referee Alain Rouche telling the boys to knock it off.
Svantesson, you're already seeing at these set pieces, he puts himself around a lot in the box, so there should be some interesting tussles all night.
It'll be Francis de Vries' task to take on Svantesson. In the end, it's a low, tame, wasted effort. It's calmly collected by Sean Melvin. He'll whip it out quickly, maybe with a little bit too much pace, but Brett Levi's collects it, no problem.
I don't know what that free kick was. That was a waste.
Maybe they were thinking to catch the Whitecaps cheating at the back post, but it was just tame, not really any pace or anything on it, as Taryn Campbell wins a throw in for his side.
Campbell, of course, got on the score sheet in the last game against LA as well, so he's going to be looking to try and build in that. The thing that's kind of let the Caps down this year is no players really hit their stride and got some momentum going and had some multi-game goals. So maybe we can see that tonight from Campbell and Amanda. Some
service across from Brett Levi. It's a lofty effort, but it's awkwardly dealt with by Jorge Corrales, number 13 for the Tulsa Roughnecks, and it's going to go out for a corner. David Norman Jr. will come over to smash this one into the area.
And Norman's set pieces have been really strong this season for the Whitecaps. He leads the team in assists, and his delivery from free kicks and corners in particular has been excellent, so let's watch him here.
David Norman lumps it in right into the heart of the area. That's more or less a goalkeeper's choice as far as the goalkeeper is concerned. Stephen Cleveland comes out and claims it calmly in the 6-yard box, not going to cause too much trouble for the keeper.
No, Cole Seiler really threw himself at that, though. If he had just been a little bit further out the ball, I think he would have had a good chance there.
Cole Seiler had a great game last week against the LA Galaxy. A couple last-ditch tackles and just some good man marking on his part helped the Whitecaps FC 2 to an important 2-1 victory. We definitely outlined him in our post-match comments as definitely one of the keys to the Whitecaps victory last week.
Yeah, and you feel it's a big season for Seiler as well, because it's the second year with the Whitecaps. He had some minutes in MLS action last year, but in the right-back role, not as centre-back. And he's really dipped down the pecking order this year in centre-back. So he needs to stand out in these games, try and say to Kyle Robinson, look, I deserve a look at MLS. And to be fair, he hasn't actually done it for a lot of the year, but he has come on strong the last few games, and he just needs to continue that now for the rest of the season, basically.
Sometimes that is the key to making that big step up, is just consistency. These guys show that they have talent game in, and sometimes they have dips in form and stuff like that, but it's just more a matter of consistency and showing you can do it on a regular basis, isn't it, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, right now he's 4th in the pecking order at centre-back. He's 5th once David Edgar comes back next season, and Edgar is hoping to possibly get some minutes at USL level for the rest of this season. He's continuing his recovery from his knee injury. He's looking really strong at training, and he'd like to get some minutes, I think, in USL before the season ends.
Matthew Baldissimo now. He'll feed it back to Cole Seiler, wearing those familiar lime green boots that he likes to rock. Perfect time to bring in the sponsor for USL, Nike, the official sponsor of USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. As Francis de Vries carries forward now for the Whitecaps, a long left-footed ball into the area, just catches Glory Amanda going the wrong way. And Jorge Corrales will pass it back to the keeper, Stephen Cleveland, to thump long and hard, possibly for the head of Ian Svantesson. That's going to be a big battle all night, you feel between the center backs and Svantesson, because they seem to be lumping that long ball, looking for the flick on or the trap to the chest of the tall Svantesson.
Yeah, and Svanesson's got a lot of experience. He played with Orlando City under-23s, and then he played with Rayo OK as well before coming to Tulsa. So he's a guy that knows the way to goal. But as we talked about at the top there, he's goalless in 4 matches now.
As we see Marco Bustos carrying into the area on his favored left foot, he'll cut it back. Elects to take on his man, winding into some more space, feeds it back to Matthew Baldissimo. Infield now for Caden Chung, but he's just dispossessed. And it looks like Tulsa's going to go on a bit of a run here. It's Paris G. He'll feed it infield now. Looks like they'll spread it out wide. An excellent switch of play here from the Tulsa Roughnecks. It just slows down, though. It looked like they did have a bit of a break here. Juan Cafa now forced to go backwards. Looked like a promising break out there for Tulsa, and it's picked off now by David Norman Jr., and he's going to go on a run of his own. He'll feed it out wide to Gloria Amanda. Foul behind the play. The referee plays advantage. Amanda into the area. Left-footed ball across. It's perfectly timed for Gloria Amanda, and he misses. Just from outside the 6-yard block, a perfect effort, a perfect pass.
He had to take that first time, and it was just bouncing awkwardly for him. If he let it bounce, I think it was just going to take him too far past the keeper in the back post. Had to go for it first time, but just couldn't get in the position to fully bury it. Although when you see the replay there, you do feel he needed to get his kind of knee over that a little bit more and try and keep that down. He's probably going to want that one back. I do think it was just going away from him slightly.
That's an excellent ball across from Taryn Campbell to bend it around the last line of defense. Unfortunate, Gloria Amanda couldn't even get a direction onto net there as it's passed behind the back stick now. Baldissimo beaten at the back stick. His man, Christian Tieryoung, will take him on. Baldissimo wins the ball back confidently and lofts it into midfield. Gloria Amanda heads it straight up into the area. He's going to have another crack at it. He'll head it down for Caden Chung. But it's won back now by Paris G from the Tulsa Roughnecks. A quick back heel, and Paris G's on the run now. He's got an overlap. Tieryoung, he'll give it back to G. G left-footed into the area. Head height, but too far, and Brett Levi's will head it back as far as not Svantisson, but has looped back into the area for Svantisson and chested out now for a corner. Probably the best spell of play for both sides in this last minute, Michael.
Yeah, the game started to open up a little bit now. Both teams going for it and getting a little bit of confidence. So if it keeps up like this for the rest of the game, I think we'll have a lot of happy viewers taking this in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A glorious chance for Gloria Amanda. And it goes back the other way. A little bit of a disjointed play, but a corner nonetheless won here by the Tulsa Roughnecks.
I think we can expect Tulsa to run into a ball about the 12-yard mark out. Oh, now they've got a little bit of movement in the box.
They've only got one man inside the 6-yard box. The rest, including Ian Svantisson, deep in the area. It's lumped in, loft and hard, and the man is unmarked. That's Bradley Bourgeois, unmarked, gets a header. A glancing effort that kind of just loops out for a goal kick, but maybe with a better run and a little bit more of luck, that's 1-0 Tulsa.
Yeah, it seemed to catch the Caps out a little bit there with what they were trying.
And it's a brutal giveaway. Ian Svantisson unmarked in the air, and he lofts it over the bar, completely unmarked. A bad giveaway there from Francis DeVries on the wing. It's fed into the area for Ian Svantisson. Sorry to cut you off there, Michael, by the way. But Svantisson gets under it, just blasts it over the bar. No test for Sean Melvin.
Yeah, brutal giveaway, as you said, but a brutal finish as well. And from a guy that's got 10 goals in the year, you're expecting him to do a lot better. Like the Amanda chance, took it first time. Maybe if he'd shown a bit more composure, he would have had a chance to do something better with it.
He was able to take a touchdown, but the ball never really seemed to sit for him, and he just kind of had to blast at it. Gloria Amanda's was kind of a first-time strike. He had to kind of do it or he was going away from net, but Svantisson looked like he had maybe even time to take another touch or maybe even take it around the keeper if he fancied it, as Taryn Campbell now will take on his man. Will he win a corner? He will. Taryn Campbell doing some fine work up the left wing here for Whitecaps FC2. We'll see what they can make of this corner.
Yeah, definitely going into end now, and a bit concerning for the Whitecaps at the back. The number of times so far that Tulsa's had a free man in the box, need to improve their marking a little bit out there.
As it looks like it'll be Marco Bustos standing over this corner on the far side of McLeod Athletic Park. 0-0 here now in the 14th minute as he gets set to whip it in, and he'll come in with pace. Back stick, it's one of the Baldissimo brothers. He gets up, but he is beaten to the ball. David Norman Jr., though, will retrieve it. Is he going to wump it into the area? Looks like he just might. Takes it onto his left foot. He'll take on his man. He puts it high and lofty in the air. Back stick. And it's headed away now as Tulsa will bring it upfield on the far side with Jaime Ayala. But it is given away to Taryn Campbell now. A little bit of sloppy back passing from the defense on both sides in this team, and it's created some opportunities for the offense.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to really know the best way to try and get through this Tulsa team at the moment. They're looking to deal with all the balls that's coming in.
Taryn Campbell, a little shake and bake on his man. He elects to go back. That's spread across now to Cole Seiler. Cole Seiler will run upfield, asking for a man to show short. He elects to go to the wing for Matthew Baldissimo. Back infield for his brother, Michael. And that's a lofted ball over the top. Taryn Campbell's run just disrupted, though, by the center back, Modu. Just in time to put off his man, or it looked Taryn Campbell might have had the step on him.
We talked as well at the start, the fact that there's 9 residency players in this Whitecaps lineup. Look for a lot of understanding between guys like Chung, the Baldissimo brothers, Campbell, and even like David Norman as well.
As Gloria Amanda carries up the left side now. A fine steal by Amanda. He'll play it infield for David Norman. David Norman has a look. He'll dish off for Brett Levi's. He'll come to the far touchline for Gloria Amanda. He'll take on both of his men and get around them. He's got some space now, doesn't matter. He's going to have a left, make that a right-footed lash. It's blocked now. Juan Kafa will collect and carry up for Tulsa.
Nice little move there from Amanda. Shame it didn't come off.
Gloria Amanda really willing to scrap for a lot of these loose balls and 50-50s as it comes out wide. It looks like one of the Baldissimo brothers will put it back into the air. Just poorly timed, though. Maybe saw Amanda making that run, but he didn't complete it. It goes out for a comfortable goal kick collected by Stephen Cleveland.
Yeah, what I was just saying before that chance for Amanda there was the understanding between a lot of these Whitecaps players is going to be immense. They've been together in the residency program since 2011. David Norman's been in it from even longer. So these guys have grown up together. They know each other's game inside and out. That can only bode well for some nice little flicks and knowing where players are going to make the runs to.
Ian Svanteson wins the flick on it. Calmly rolls back to Sean Melvin. And he'll distribute it to Brett Levi's, who is definitely looking to get his legs from under him after coming back from that terrible injury. He has gotten some minutes. This is his first start. We'll see how long he could go. That might be a spot for Rich Fagan to look at, possibly replacing if he sees there's maybe a little bit of fatigue there come halftime.
Yeah, but it's just great to see him back on the pitch. He's such a nice guy. You just wish the best for him. And I fully expect to see him challenging for the MLS starter spot, if maybe not by the end of this season, but certainly for next year.
Marco Bustos will spread the ball across. Marco Bustos, we kind of highlighted off the air here, Michael, as a kind of a sleeper guy to watch. He had a great game last week against the LA Galaxy, created no less than 4 clear-cut chances for himself, but was just not able to put it in the back of the net, and he definitely looked frustrated with himself when he was subbed off by Rich Fagan late in that game. So we definitely expect big things from Marco Bustos here tonight as he looks to make somewhat of amends for last week's performance. Not necessarily a bad one, just one I think he would want to improve on.
Well, he's a guy that puts a lot of pressure on himself. He expects a lot from himself, and then when things don't happen for him, he just gets a little bit frustrated. And
speaking of a little bit frustrated, it looks like Davey Norman Jr. has gotten in the grill of Ian Svanteson. Maybe a little bit of a raised arm there, Svanteson was saying. The referee has blown down play. It looks like they'll just get a stern talking to for right now. Maybe we can get another look at that. As it was on the far touchline, it definitely looked like David Norman did mix it up with Ian Svanteson, as we'll see here, Michael.
Yeah, the referee came in really quick there. I thought he had seen a bit more than what we had maybe seen. That's nothing.
It didn't look too much there. David Norman getting a bit of body position. If anything, it looked like Ian Svanteson might have given him a little bit of a shirt tug, but the referee adjudges it to be a foul on David Norman. He stays out of the books, though, especially. That's key this early in the match.
I mean, it was definitely a foul for me. The way the referee kind of raced in there, you did think that maybe an elbow thrown or that the linesman had seen something, but it turned out not to be the case.
We're now in the 19th minute now. Corey Basso, your play-by-play man, alongside Michael McCall. It's 0-0 between the Caps and Tulsa Roughnecks, Michael.
Yeah, we were just talking about Marco Bustos there and sort of the frustration that he's sometimes shown. He does lead the team with 6 goals. He leads the team with 31 shots. He leads the team with 16 shots on target. But he could have had so much more. That's just the frustrating aspect, I think, of his game this year. And he knows it's a big season for him. He's trying to impress Carl Robinson. And when you go out and you've got that weight of expectation on your shoulders from others, from yourself, it is hard sometimes to hide your frustration when things just don't go the way that you're hoping them to go.
Absolutely. As we see Michael Baldissimo carrying upfield, he's going to cross the ball long and hard. It's perfectly weighted for Taryn Campbell, who takes an excellent touchdown on the left foot, but once again, just not able to corral it and settle it. That's been the story of the game for these strikers. Great touches to bring themselves into chances, into space, but just the finish lacking there from Taryn Campbell.
I don't know whether it's the bounce of the pitch or what, but they're all struggling on both sides. But what a ball that came in here. I mean, perfectly weighted, as you said there. Baudissimo just sends it straight into Campbell. Knew where Campbell was going to be. There's that understanding we were talking about. And Campbell did well, actually.
The first touch is a decent one.
Yeah, it was just his strike, I think, that really let him down.
It was kind of one of those ones where the defender was breathing right down the back of his neck. He knew he had to lash at it and get it away quickly, or it might have been put out for a touch or for a corner kick. But once again, just getting under the ball, just like Ian Svantesson and just like Gloria Amanda in the first two clear-cut chances of this match.
Yeah, but Michael Baudissimo's ball there was phenomenal. And if they can keep doing that, that might be the key to unlocking this Tulsa defence. Just try and get over them, get their fast guys to run in. Campbell's got a lot of pace, Amanda's got a lot of pace. Chung as well, that's playing high up there. If they can possibly get some balls into the corner, that could be their key to getting on the score sheet here.
So it looks like Jaime Ayala will quickly play the ball now to Juan Coffa, the number 10 for this Tulsa Roughnecks. He'll cut it back on David Norman Jr., work himself into a bit of space here. That'll come back in field, but given away now. So Michael Baldissimo will launch a long one again, this time for Caden Chung. He gets his head on it, gets the touchdown, but just not able to corral it. The ball seemed to just not want to sit for anybody in these key moments as we come near side here for Christian Tier Young. Apologies.
Sloppy play there with the ball going out. Both sides have certainly had their chances. Very even game so far. Certainly doesn't look like a team in 5th against a team like 14th.
Marco Busso will run at the back line now here. He dishes off for Caden Chung. He'll serve it up right-footed, low and hard, and it comes across the area. Not dealt with until the last man, and then lashed out as far as David Norman Jr. And back to Caden Chung now. He puts it in the area. Oh, and the goalkeeper comes and palms at it. No one around. It leaves the 18 area without too much of a problem, but that could have been dangerous for Tulsa.
Bit of a waste from the Caps there. You really wanted them to have someone on the edge of the box for that opportunity to fall to. But some nice pressure on there, some nice crosses into the box. A little bit of panic at the back for Tulsa. Let's see if the Caps can keep this going.
As Francis DeVries will collect at the back for the Whitecaps now and play it back to Sean Melvin. Of course, you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and info from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget, Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times. Michael, I know when you go home and tuck yourself under the covers at night with your flashlight, it's uslsoccer.com.
I like my stats. Even though I do a site called Away From the Numbers, I'm very fond of the numbers, so I'm always checking the stats there.
As Ian Svantesson gets around the back, he'll lay it back only as far as Cole Seiler, who will calmly left foot it back out into midfield, but that could have been a dangerous chance. Ian Svantesson almost getting behind the back line of the Whitecaps again.
Yeah, he's getting a few chances now. He's not being picked up. I mean, watching him here, he's kind of getting a free run.
So carry it to the edge of the area. It's left-footed cross in to Svantesson, but just over his head. Look, maybe with a bit more timing, a little bit more pace, a little less loft on that ball, and maybe a leap of courage from Svantesson, it could have just as easily been 1-0 Tulsa. That was definitely a chance there.
He's doing really well at losing his man, and I think that the Whitecaps, they might even have to double mark him at this rate. He's getting away from everyone that's been attached to him so far. He's definitely looked the biggest threat for Tulsa.
He just makes these runs that kind of, he's always a step just onside, but just behind the last defender. They're sneaky runs for a big man, and as well as the way, as you mentioned, he's not afraid to drift off the shoulder of the last man and go for those far post headers as well.
I like a big striker, kind of an Andy Carroll, maybe someone that doesn't get injured as much.
I'm a Luca Toni guy myself.
I'm a West Ham fan. It's just I can't believe how much Andy Carroll gets injured, but you've got a guy like him, and it's like Svantesson has that kind of build.
Marco Bustos in the area now, left-footed. He'll cut it back onto his right foot. No options, though, and he's just elected to lay it off into the corner for Taryn Campbell, who didn't pick up on the run. Marco Bustos finding himself in some excellent space and maybe should have just smashed it with the left.
The layoff there, I don't know if he thought that Campbell was closer to him or not, but that was just a giveaway in the end. And the Caps are getting their chances, but they're just not taking them, and that's been their story of their season. They were on that 13-game winless streak heading into the last match, and most of those games were close. There was a lot of one-goal games. They'd had their opportunities, and they just weren't taking them. We're seeing it tonight. They've had opportunities. They've not buried them. Is this going to be another game where they're kind of made to pay in a lose to in a close 1-goal scoreline or something.
It is worth mentioning that Tulsa's last effort was a 1-1 draw against Western Conference bottom of the table rivals Portland, so maybe Tulsa not maybe in the best run of form, though they are in a playoff spot right now, but maybe a slightly weak inside the Whitecaps can take advantage of.
Only 1 loss in their last 5, though.
Taryn Campbell gets around his man with some fine work. He's going to go all the way. He takes it left-footed, but straight at the goalkeeper, Stephen Cleveland. That's some fine work by Taryn Campbell. He's finding space. He's getting past his men, but the service is fine in the area. There's just no one in and around the vicinity it needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, they're targeting that right-back role of Tulsa, and they're having some success there. Very similar to what LA were doing to the Whitecaps in the last game.
It is Jaime Ayala on that right side that Taryn Campbell has been terrorizing. He has found his way into some fine spaces, Taryn Campbell, but just no souls in the boxes. We'll get another look at that one. Elects to take on his man. He goes all the way, drifts past his second man, and elects to go past the third, cuts it back, but it's just too close to the goal line.
Really nice hustle by him, though, and it's something that we've seen Campbell do a lot in the residency. He's kind of struggled a little bit to bring it to the USL level. He's been very patchy, he's been up and down. You expect that with a young player, but he's definitely on form tonight.
Brett Levi's now will get up this far side. A little help from Taryn Campbell, lays it off. That's a fine touch from Brett Levi's. In for Taryn Campbell, square, and right into the arms of Stephen Cleveland. Caden Chung, he made the run perfect, but just didn't get the contact he wanted. Loops it right into the chest of the goalkeeper.
That should have been 1-0 Vancouver. Great little play there between Campbell and Levi's. Beautiful ball. Campbell knew where Chung was going to be. Just Chung has not got a finish on him. And you look at some of these other guys, you maybe wish Amanda was the guy that was in the centre there for the ball to come into, and Chung's going to know he should have done better there.
Might need to have another look at that one, but it looked like Chung's effort may have been deflected off the right foot of Jorge Corrales. He did make a last-ditch tackle coming across there. That might have just taken a bit of stink off the shot there. We'll get another look at it here. As we see the ball come in from Taryn Campbell, Chung makes the run across. Has Corrales got a touch in there? No, he hasn't. No. Caden just didn't get the touch he wanted on it. I thought for sure the defender got a touch there.
Almost trying to side foot it in instead of maybe just trying to blast it.
Or maybe even redirect it. It did have some pace on it.
I know you're always taught to try and side foot the ball, but it's like sometimes a good old blast, especially from just a few yards out, does the business, and I think that's what that needed there.
Absolutely, and it was one of the few offensive balls that actually managed to sit down for the striker on that one. We've seen a couple efforts where they've had to hit it almost mid-volley on a bounce, but that one set up perfectly for Caden Chung. He just didn't get the mustard he wanted on it.
Could definitely have had about 4 or 5 goals so far between the teams.
I told you we were having a barn burner today, Michael. As Glory Amanda gets on the ball, it's David Norman Jr. running forward. He lays it in for Taryn Campbell. Will he get there? He will, but his final touch to take him around the last defender is too heavy, and Stephen Cleveland will collect calmly. Tulsa kind of on the ropes now. They've been playing a little bit of defense here for the last 5 minutes.
It's just felt like wave after wave of Vancouver attack, and can they keep this pace going in this heat? We talked about their young guys, they're super fit. Should they tire? I don't know, but I mean, they're just launching so many attacks now. You have to feel that the breakthrough's just around the corner.
That being said, though, it's definitely a Tulsa side you can't go to sleep on. Ian Svantesson looks like he could just tuck in behind the back line or just put a well-directed header into the back of the net at any time, so not time to fall asleep, and it's given away. Baldissimo in the area. Decides to lay it off for Glory Amanda. Probably would have been better to just take it himself. It looks like Gloria Amanda's maybe got a little bit of a touch here on the keeper, Stephen Cleveland, but we'll have to have another look at that one. That looked like it was shaping up for a Michael Baldissimo blast, but he elects to lay it off.
Yeah, too heavy a pass through as well. There was no way I don't think Amanda was ever really going to get on this. Yeah, just too far forward. He just needed to be back a couple more yards right into the path of Amanda as opposed to getting him to run on it. And oh, right in the head.
Amanda might get a bit of a stern talking to. That was quite the follow-through.
The referee missed that. He just had a little word with him there, but I think if the referee had seen that a little bit more, then that would have been a red card, possibly.
Well, Stephen Cleveland, I think, he's lobbying for a card there. I mean, he did take a swift boot to the head. There's no doubt about that.
There was no intent, but you have to be a bit smart.
It is a bit reckless. It was a bit reckless, and I think Glory Amanda's lucky not to see himself in the referee's pocketbook, as Ian Svantesson will head it on only as far as Brett Levi's, who has a little bit of time to lump it forward. And it's a chase as Marco Bustos maybe could have gotten a touch there. But Tulsa will recollect now, and they'll bring it forward in some numbers. Perhaps playing a bit of rope-a-dope as they foray into the Caps' offensive third. Looks like Juan Caffa, he'll cut it back. Make that Joaquin Rivas. Just playing around the perimeter, nothing really too threatening. Brett Levi's manages to deal with that calmly and shake and bakes his man before feeding it up to Taryn Campbell, who is giving Jaime Ayala and Francisco Ugarte quite the time down that right side.
Yeah, it's been great to see Campbell tonight. He's really testing the right side here of Tulsa. And it's not a nice thing to say, but the Whitecaps should really be trying to get some shots in on Cleveland now, just to see if his head is clear, because that was a hell of a kick that he took there. You don't know if there's maybe some after effects. You just want to see just how good he is.
Gloria Amanda shields the ball, turns on it to Marco Bustos. He'll deal in for Taryn Campbell. Taryn Campbell playing some lovely 1-2s and just getting behind his man at all times. As Brett Levi's with some fine work as well, obviously showing people his pedigree. As Gloria Amanda will win a free kick on the far side. That was some fine footwork by Brett Levi's. You don't get to see a lot of the silky stuff from some of the defenders, but he's a guy to watch, isn't he? We'll get another look at it here of some fine footwork.
He's just such a talented guy, and we've seen it from him from years at the University of Saskatchewan. We've seen it when he was in the PDL with Victoria Highlanders and also the Whitecaps, and he was having a great season with the USL. Then he earned his MLS contract, which was very well deserved. The injuries set him back a little bit, but he's looking on top form again.
As David Norman Jr. will come back to collect. You hear the airplane overhead. Of course, we are by the Langley Regional Airport here at McLeod Athletic Park. So if you hear the odd jet swinging by, don't be alarmed, Michael.
I love it. It adds a little bit of character, and in the really boring games you can kind of see the planes coming in as well. It's sometimes more fun to watch.
Can't imagine it's too pleasurable to be flying in these smoky airs.
No.
But
yeah, visibility you don't imagine is great up there tonight.
No, absolutely. As Cole Seiler will get himself back onto the ball. Francis DeVries now. Come out far right here for Matthew Baldissimo. Some fine passing by the Whitecaps, and Caden Chung has turned his man. He's going to like to take on the next. Just got a little bit tangled up there with number 2, Paris G of the Tulsa Roughnecks. As Taryn Campbell finds himself in fine position. He'll spread it out wide for Brett Levi's. He's going to have a chance to put this one left-footed. A low hard cross, maybe looking for the run of Campbell. Campbell didn't anticipate it though, and Tulsa maybe let off the hook, but Brett Levi's with a fine sliding tackle wins the ball back, and the Whitecaps will regroup. Matthew Baldissimo again on the ball here. As you hear the Whitecaps support in the background, as number 74 Spike the mascot riles them up. I know you love Spike, Michael.
Yeah, his drum is very loud, especially at UBC when it's right in front of where you're commentating.
Yes, absolutely. But it gets us riled up. It gets us fired up, Michael,
yes.
doesn't it? Yes, absolutely. As
It gets me riled up. I
yeah.
don't know if
Matthew Baldissimo, another fine right-footed ball. A fine chest down by Marco Bustos. But it looked like the Tulsa defender got a touch there, and Bustos shrugged off the ball. No foul, says the referee, and they'll play on.
I think it was just a nice shoulder-to-shoulder there, but Bustos sent flying at the corner flag.
Absolutely. Jorge Corrales, George as they call him, number 13, giving Marco Bustos a bit of a ride. Quite a bit of a size disadvantage there for Bustos, so maybe didn't help the aesthetics there, did it?
He is used to that, though. It's like he is on the smaller side.
As Ayala will play it into Juan Caffa. Tulsa restricted to their own defensive third now as they look to just break out, get some space, and work past this hard-working Whitecaps team who have been plugging up the middle of the field. They've been winning a lot of balls there, especially through David Norman and Brett Levi's.
Not a lot of time to catch your breath, though, tonight as well. I mean, these guys are going to be feeling it at half-time at the pace that they've had for the last 20 minutes or so.
Caden Chung just letting the ball get away from himself there. He's had a promising first half. He's managed to make some cute runs and get into some good space. Maybe the final touch letting him down a couple of times, but showing some promising signs going forward as Caden Chung, as David Norman Jr. shrugged off the ball there.
Yeah, both the wingers have done well. Campbell, for me, has been the Whitecap of the half so far.
As Christian Tieryoung brings it across the area, but it's dealt with by Cole Seiler. That was dangerous as the Tulsa Roughnecks were penetrating the area. David Norman Jr. thumped over from behind. He did not like that.
Yeah, he did well not to react more.
I was going to say, you could see it took all of David Norman Jr.'s strength not to react to that. He just swallowed his pride, swallowed his tongue, and just disciplined himself on the spot there.
I thought he was going to lash out, but he kept his head, which is good, because as we mentioned, he's one yellow card away from missing the next match.
And not only that, but when you're a type of player who likes to play like David Norman Jr., he likes to get about, you don't want to be taking a yellow in the first half because it puts you under the cosh for the rest of the match, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it almost forces the coach into a change in the second half if you haven't been sent off.
Oh, it does.
And that's some fine work up the far side by the Tulsa Roughnecks. They'll carry into the area. Ian Svantesson made the near post run, but it goes floated far back post, and Baldissimo will just lash it out into touch. Once again, some fine work down the side, but Ian Svantesson deciding to go near post when possibly he should have been lurking at the backstick for that header, especially over Baldissimo, who has a considerable size advantage over.
Svantesson's continuing to be really the only threat for Tulsa. There's no one else really standing out as putting much threat on Sean Melvin's goal here.
Joaquin Rivas, the man putting in the service there. It appears they've switched sides, Christian Tieryoung and Joaquin Rivas. In our starting 11, we had them with Rivas on the left and Tieryoung on the right. It appears they've swapped sides. We have Tieryoung on our near side and Rivas on the far side just putting in that service. So maybe a little bit of an early swap here from Tulsa to see what they can generate. As Koffa lashes it into the area. It's headed high, but not completely dealt with by DeVries. It'll go out as far as Taryn Campbell. And he may just have to lump it high and hard and for a prayer. No, he's going to take on his man and he's going to carry it out himself. Taryn Campbell, full of confidence right now, not afraid to take on his man, not afraid to work on the 1-2s, and he'll work it into Baldissimo. And that's a fine long ball for Marco Bustos. He'll take it down on the chest. Is it in? It's still in. Marco Bustos on his preferred left, cuts it back. Just an infield ball, lets him down there. Too many numbers in the box for Tulsa. And the Chads is left wanting. Bustos with a fine run there and some fine service again from Baldissimo in the middle of the pitch.
Michael Baldissimo, another great ball up there. He is one of the best deliverers on the park from the Whitecaps. Still so young as well. A lot of people feel he is the best of the Baldissimo brothers that we've seen. We've seen Mark previously.
Well, there's like 20 Baldissimo brothers in there.
Something like that, yeah. There's some more in the way. Well, there's at least another one in the way. But they've got such talent, but Michael is thought to possibly be the brightest of those talents.
I don't want to pump his tires too much, but he's had some Andrea Pirlo-like raking balls in this game that have been right on the dime as it's fed into Glory Amanda. He'll elect to take it out wide, perhaps win inside a corner. He is kind of ushered to the corner, but he will win the corner. That's some fine work by Glory Amanda. You can't complain with that, especially with some fine whip service, no doubt, from Marco Bustos or David Norman Jr. up and coming.
You are hoping for a better delivery though this time. The corners so far have either been too deep or too close to the keeper. They kind of need to get more of an outswinger round about the 10, 12 yards out. Give Seiler and DeVries a chance to get on the end of this.
38th minute, still 0-0 at McLeod Athletic Park. Whitecaps FC 2 and the Tulsa Roughnecks. David Norman Jr. lashes it into the area. That has some pace. Just to the top of the area and a kind of a lofted, deflected header from Francis DeVries. Not too much trouble, but looked like some decent service from David Norman Jr.
Well, I wanted DeVries or Seiler to get on one. DeVries did get on one there, but the Kiwi, not a great header, just wide. Last Kiwi standing at the moment, with the other three Whitecaps Kiwis away on World Cup qualifying duty during the week. And congratulations to all of them making it through to the playoffs. Possibly facing Argentina, depending on how CONMEBOL
that'll be a tough task.
You have to think, though, Argentina's not going to finish 5th, so they might have a bit of an easier task. But Stefan Marinovic, Declan Wynn and Meyer Bevan all away with New Zealand against the Solomon Islands during the week. 8-3 aggregate win. Stefan Marinovic, some fantastic saves from him. And Meyer Bevan getting his first senior goal.
Jorge Corrales now on the ball. Only as far as Paris G. Some fine intertwining there from the Tulsa Roughnecks. It's Corrales plays it infield, and it comes out wide to Juan Koffa, and that's a fine laid-off ball for Christian Tieryoung. He'll take it into the area, and it's finally blocked by Francis DeVries. Some left-footed service, but it's cut back, and a fine chance. It's Juan Koffa, and it's a left-footed finish and a goal for the Tulsa Roughnecks. That's some fine work by Christian Tieryoung. He didn't give up. His cross was blocked. He collected it back off Francis DeVries into the area for Juan Koffa. It's 1-0 Tulsa Roughnecks in the 39th minute.
A little bit against the run of play, but what a finish, and some great work there by Tieryoung, as you said. Did not give up on that ball at all. 1-0 Tulsa, and a big road back now if the Whitecaps want to get back into this.
We'll have to have another look at that goal. Some fine work, as mentioned, by Christian Tieryoung. You don't see it there. The original cross is blocked. He feeds it back into the area to a criminally unmarked Juan Kaffa, and he just has to left-footed poke it into the area just over the shoulder of the oncoming Sean Melvin. And he makes it look pretty easy. He wasn't quite tight. It's 1-0 Tulsa.
Really nice finish, but Tieryoung, the guy that made that goal, he has looked a little bit dangerous getting into the box, but there hasn't been much end result from anything that Tulsa's done tonight. But it just shows you one chance, 1-0 to Tulsa, and a big ask now for the Whitecaps to try and get back into this.
A little bit cruel on Francis DeVries there. Blocks the original cross coming in, but just kind of got spun around and wasn't to see the next cross, or I'm sure he would have stuck a foot in or made his damnedest of efforts to try and stop that second cross from coming in. A little bit cruel on the defender there.
A little bit cruel in the Whitecaps in general with the possession and the chances that they've had, but if you don't take your chances, this is what happens. And unfortunately, the Whitecaps easily could have had 2 or 3 goals so far, now trailing by 1 with less than 5 minutes of the half to go.
As referee Alain Rouge whistles down for a foul. It looked to be on the back of Marco Bustos. Maybe a late chance here for Whitecaps FC2. It would be great if they could get themselves right back into it and have an immediate response, especially going into the halftime break here. Taryn Campbell, possibly a bit deflated, seeing some of his hard work go for naught in these early stages. Brett Levi will carry in now, though. Gloria Amanda, quick flick back to Brett Levi's and a right-footed shot, and it's off the inside of the post. And right back to Stephen Cleveland. That's a little bit of luck from the Tulsa Roughnecks. Brett Levi's with some fine intertwining work. He looks like he's the Brett Levi's of old here now, and he almost gets the Whitecaps level. That
was an absolutely fantastic move. Whitecaps did everything right there, just apart from put it in the back of the net. Lovely little give and go. First time effort from Levi's, off the post. Heartbreaking for them.
An excellent flick on by Gloria Amanda too, reading the play to perfection. And Brett Levi's knew if he didn't get that initial touch, it was going to be scooped up by the defender. He puts a perfect touch on it, but his inch is just inside the far post. The Whitecaps left wanting there. 1-0 it stands, Tulsa in the 42nd minute.
It should give them hope, though, that they can get some success.
Caden Chung now into Gloria Amanda. He has a left-footed lash. It goes off a defender of Tulsa. He's down on the deck. He looks like he's in some considerable pain. And referee Alain Rouge will blow it down. It didn't go out for a corner. Stephen Cleveland managing to collect it before it rolled out the byline. Can't see it is who on the deck there. I want to say it's Corrales.
He isn't moving much as well, which is usually the sign that it is quite a bad injury.
Maybe we can see a replay here. It just looked like he blocked the shot maybe. Maybe got it in the stomach or in the nether regions, but he's definitely down and in pain. So see Caden Chung carry in here. He'll lay it off for Gloria Amanda. Left-footed shot. Looks like it kind of just...
Oh, it's his knee. He seems to have just twisted his knee a little bit. Stud's possibly caught in the turf. He did seem to twist round, and right away he held that knee.
We saw that last week with Zico Bailey on this turf. He just came down awkwardly on a header, the LA Galaxy defender, and kind of wrenched his knee. The shot definitely came off the backside.
Physio doing some work here on the left leg. Doesn't seem overly in pain, wincing a little bit here, but hopefully it's okay the way he's tugging that.
Absolutely. You can get all the updates on tonight's result as well as USL results from around the league. You can tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 p.m. 6 p.m. Pacific on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget, Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times as we get a look at the Langley faithful now. The Tulsa defender up to his feet. Still haven't seen who took that knock there. Looks like Francisco Ugarte there taking the bump, as it were. He's gingerly kind of pedaling around trying to get some feeling back into that right knee.
Seems to be okay. It looked a bit of a bad twist, which again, going back to the last game and what happened with Bailey, we thought it was a really bad incident, the way that you kind of saw the legs twist, but footballers are hardy souls these days.
Absolutely.
When they want to be.
Looks like Alain Rouge is putting the ball back in play. It does look like Francisco Ugarte will be able to come back into this one, just getting a quick jog in here on the near byline, and he's back into play ready to go. So we'll continue 11 aside in the 45th minute now. Obviously some stoppage probably to be added on for that little delay as we wind up the first half here, Michael.
Tulsa will be quite pleased with that. It kind of breaks the Whitecaps' momentum up a little bit. They've kind of got to try and get something going now for the last minute and stoppage time. They were looking dangerous there, but they've looked dangerous for a lot of this half and just...
Juan Cafa with a left-footed rip, and that's an excellent save. Maybe caught Sean Melvin off of his line a bit. A little bit of a prayer of a shot, but I think he saw the keeper coming off his line. Melvin has to stretch back and palm it away for a corner, but that's a fine effort from Juan Cafa.
I didn't actually think Melvin was going to get to that. It looked like he was just a little bit too far out. He was kind of stretching back to get it, and that's where his big frame really came in handy there. I thought he had just come out a tad one step too far, but I mean, Cafa's looking excellent. Since that goal, he's just got a new lease of life.
Yeah, definitely trying a one there, and almost paid off for the Tulsa Roughneck attacking mid as it's whipped into the area now. A little too close to Melvin. He'll like to punch it away, only as far as Christian Tieryoung. 2 minutes added time as you hear. Another headed effort comes in. And Alain Rush, the referee, will elect to blow it down. A foul in the area, says. Couple minutes of added time. Should the Whitecaps want to press the issue going into the half?
They're really going to want to try and get in on level terms. They deserve to be.
And it's laid off now. It looks like Juan Cafa again. And that's a fine ball across for Tieryoung, but it's dealt with by David Norman Jr. The likes of Tieryoung, Cafa, and Svantesson coming to life now in these late stages. It's whipped into the area. Cole Seiler will head away. Only as far as Rivas, I believe it is, make that Jaime Ayala.
If Tulsa can hang on for the 3 points here, that's massive for them in terms of playoff positioning.
As the ball will be whipped in again, this time right-footed. It's right to the head of Svantesson. No, it's cleared away by Cole Seiler doing some fine work, and Caden Chung's going to try and work the Caps upfield only as far as Joaquin Rivas, who's back on this left side now. He's re-switched sides with Tieryoung, so they're back to their original structure. Obviously, that first swap paying dividends as Tieryoung set up that opening goal here on our near side. And here he is pressing the back line again. Brett Levi's, though, gets the touch in the nick of time. He felt that was a crucial tackle with Tieryoung breathing down his neck.
Yeah, I mean, since the goal, Tieryoung and Cafa both looking a lot more lively than they were, looking a threat now. I'm surprised they've switched Tieryoung back, actually, because he seemed to be having a lot of success out here in the left, and now they've switched him back where he wasn't doing so well at the start of the half.
Tieryoung now adjudged to be offside. Might be seeing the last few touches of the first half here as Sean Melvin has the ball rolled to him.
Hard to see anything else happening, I think. Maybe one last chance if they can get going quickly, but referee being a stickler for where this is going to get taken.
And Sean Melvin will elect to go short. Francis DeVries. And there's the halftime whistle from Alain Rush. An entertaining first half, Michael. I did predict it. It was going to be a barn burner. Chances for both sides. Probably the better of the chances coming for Whitecaps FC 2, but they find themselves behind 1-0 on a Juan Cafa opening goal.
Yeah, they're going to be disappointed to be heading in one goal down. Rich Fagan's just really got to tell them, keep doing what you're doing, and the goal will come. It does feel that it's going to come. They're going to feel hard done by, but what a boost for Tulsa, going in one goal up after being under the cosh for so much.
Corey Basso, your play-by-play man. Michael McCall in the color will come back with the halftime stats, some highlights, and so much more. It's USL Soccer from McLeod Field in Langley.
I'll go pay. Nice, I'll go park the Evo. What's up, guys? I'm Spencer. I'm Cole. We're here today at the Van Dusen Botanical Garden for the Evo Maze Challenge. Come on! Come on, you've been preparing for this, Cole. Oh, wrong turn, wrong turn. I'm feeling better about this one. Nah, I'm feeling much worse. Dead end, dead end. Oh, God. Oh, God. Help me, Tom Cruise! No. Come on. Where are you, Spencer? I don't know where I'm at. Dead end! Ah! That's mine. You can't say oh, I thought that was my ball. Where'd you go? Where'd you get that? Nowhere. Come on, where's the turn? No. We're getting near. I can smell it. For the W! Oh, yeah. Woo! I hit his ball. He's never going to find it, so he probably won't be out for another couple minutes. Help me! I didn't find the ball. I hit it.
This is Kendall Waston. Abbotsford High School Matron Band. I got this challenge.
Put your hands up!
How you doing, my friend?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Welcome to MEI.
Thank you so much. Let's do this.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Welcome to MEI.
Thank you so much.
Are you up for a musical challenge today?
Yes, for sure. I'm excited for this.
Let's go. We got to get started. So this is our band room here. Why don't you come on in? You're going to learn to play one of the songs that you heard when you came in today.
One of what?
Okay, try it again. Wow. Wow, that's good. You say you used to play drums in high school? Let's see if you can duplicate this rhythm. Copy me. Solid rhythm.
But I don't know to read this. I am
You're
this.
the very bottom.
In the bottom always?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Boom, 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 boom. Left and right. Up.
It's not as easy as I thought. Trying to do my best to make this happen. I'm more nervous now.
He's a natural, guys. He's a natural, I tell you.
There's still room up in the bleachers.
So are you ready for your final performance?
Let's do this.
See you in there.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, MEI,
Ay, ay, ay.
Vancouver Whitecaps central defender, Kendall Waston.
I'm excited, very.
Here we go.
Do you believe that Kendall Wasson met today's challenge?
Playing with this band, it was awesome. I think it's one of my best experiences that I ever had.
I think he did quite good. I would give Kendall Waston a perfect pass because he joined right in and looked like one of us.
Yeah, he could fit in just fine. I think all of our students had a really great time today.
Put your hands up!
Greetings, fellow Whitecaps fans. My name is Chubo, your friendly neighborhood video game expert. If you don't know me yet, I play FIFA 17, the video game, for a living. And yes, my mom is very, very proud. Now, one thing that's great about FIFA 17 is that a player's stats in the game can tell you a lot about what he's gonna be like on the real pitch. So the Whitecaps just announced their new Egyptian midfielder, Ali Ghazal. Now let's use FIFA 17 to see what you can expect from this beast from the Middle East. Quick background on Ghazal. At 25 years old, he's coming into his prime. He's a box-to-box, defensive-minded midfielder that's comfortable on the ball and will give the Whitecaps back for extra protection. Although he's young, he comes with a lot of experience. He's already played 100+ games in the Portuguese league, captained his former side, and has also played for his national team. One thing you need to know about Ghazal, he's real tough. His 84 physicality rating in FIFA is equal to Europe's elite midfielders like Arturo Vidal, Casemiro, and N'Golo Kante. This tells you his physical attributes can dominate opponents on the pitch. With 87 rated strength, he's hard to push off the ball, and with 85 aggression, he won't give opponents any time. Now, his defensive capabilities are very solid as well. With 81 standing tackle and 79 interceptions, he'll be great at breaking up the opponent's attacking play and building the Whitecaps' counterattack. With these defensive stats, he's able to play at center back if the Whitecaps need him to. This makes him very versatile. Overall, it looks like the Caps have a young, new midfield general that's ready to lead them to the playoffs. So once again, my name is True Boy, and I hope this video helped you get a better idea of our new midfielder, Ali Ghazal. Until next time.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
James Outland and Morgan Copes from the leadership of Birmingham, Alabama's 2019 USL expansion side recently visited the league offices. Announced as the first expansion team for 2019, Outland and Copes share in the excitement as the club begins to work towards its inaugural season.
Well, first and foremost, I think we're going to have a great product. We're going to have a professional environment. We're going to have a competitive team, and not just competitive, we want to win. So I think the competition and the level of play on the field is going to be top-notch, and I think the experience at the stadium and for the fans is going to be equally impressive.
What excites me about being in the USL in 2019 is it's a dream come true. I mean, this is something that, you know, there's a group of guys and individuals who have put a lot of time, a lot of blood, sweat, tears, you know, everything that you can think of from a grassroots perspective, startup. You know, to see it come to fruition, you know, when this whole thing really kind of started from, you know, just a couple beers at a local brewery. This whole idea, to see it come to fruition, it's going to be incredible.
What excites us about joining the USL is, first, Birmingham needs a professional sports team, and we think soccer is the ideal sport for Birmingham. It's a great growing sport across the country. And as importantly, the USL has really been a successful league. They've done a phenomenal job. We've done our research. We've been working on this for over 2 years now. And we really chose the USL because we think it's the best league and one of the best sports in the world. And we think Birmingham is primed to become a great professional soccer town.
It's going to be a fun, fast, exciting atmosphere. I mean, the game of soccer itself is always, you know, very exciting, you know, to watch live. Just because of the speed of play, the physicality, the toughness that goes into it. But, you know, I also think we're going to have a great, fun family atmosphere.
Well, it's been a great opportunity to come and get better familiarized with the people behind the league, and get to meet the folks that we work with on a weekly and ongoing basis, and really get our ducks in a row and be ready to launch for our 2019 beginning of the season.
The wealth of knowledge, the information, and just the organization around the entire organization itself is incredible. The professionalism is second to none. And, you know, I'm excited about getting to meet the people and put faces to names. There's an old quote, you know, nobody cares what you know until they know you care. So I really look forward to establishing those relationships with league officers and just the people in and around here.
For USL Network, I'm Morgan Conklin.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to McLeod Athletic Park in Langley, British Columbia, Canada. The score at halftime between Whitecaps FC 2 and the Tulsa Roughnecks, 1-0 for Tulsa on a Juan Cafa left-footed effort. Michael, let's look at some of the highlights from the first half, and believe me, there was plenty of them, but we've picked the cream of the crop starting first with a Gloria Amanda chance. But we'll show the squads coming out, as you see there, on a very kind of overcast kind of day here in Langley.
Yeah, look at the sky there, and you just look at what it is just now, and you're going to see how dark it's got just even since half-time.
Absolutely, and it got off to a furious pace with Taryn Campbell, a fine ball around the backside. Gloria Amanda not able to find the finish.
Yeah, definitely should have had done better there. Lovely ball in from Campbell.
And this will be the goal for Tulsa, as you see there. Tier Young not giving up. He puts the ball back in. It's Juan Kaffa takes the touch pass. Cole Seiler, a fine left-footed strike past Sean Melvin.
Finish was excellent for me. It's like that's what you're expecting guys to do, but I mean it's all made here by Tier Young. Just doesn't give up. Don't know that you can blame Francis de Vries too much for that, but a sweet finish from the outside of the foot there. 1-0 Tulsa.
Juan Kaffa, a fine goal, but the Caps wouldn't lay down just yet. A fine pass from Gloria Amanda finds Brett Levi's in space, but he smashes it off the upright.
Closest the Caps came. Everything was just right about that move, but just not the finish there.
Just off the inside of the post. A game of inches, they say, Michael. And Tulsa almost made it 2-0 going back the other way. A fine look from Juan Kaffa, almost catching Sean Melvin off his line.
Yeah, that was beautiful anticipation by Kaffa. Melvin did so well because, as we said during the commentary, he'd come out there but did well with his save. And looking at the stats, 7 shots to the Whitecaps, 5 to Tulsa. Possession, Whitecaps leading 53-47. All that matters though is that goals count, and it's 1-0 to Tulsa.
Absolutely. We'll come back with the second half kickoff from McLeod Athletic Park here in Langley. The score as it stands, 1-0. The Tulsa Roughnecks leading Whitecaps FC 2. Still battling it out mathematically for a playoff spot. My name Corey Basso. He's Michael McCall. We're coming back with the second half kickoff next on USL Soccer. Welcome back to McLeod Athletic Park here at Langley, British Columbia, Canada. The score between the Tulsa Roughnecks and Whitecaps FC 2, the home squad, 1-0 in favor of Tulsa. My name Corey Basso here in the booth alongside my color man Michael McCall. And we have seen a switch here, Michael, as Rich Fagan brings off perhaps one of his most effective players in the first half, Brett Levi's, in favor of Chris Serbin.
Yeah, Levi's was only penciled in just to play that first 45 minutes. They want to give him a run out, get his fitness back gradually. Chris Serbin coming in for his 10th appearance of this season. Started the last game against LA. Did have a little bit of a torrid time at times, but it was excellent. Chris Serbin in now at the half for Brett Levi's.
That's correct, the swap at right back. And as we mentioned, Brett Levi's getting to some fantastic space in that first half. He smashed it off the upright. Looked like it could have been an equalizer there for the Caps, but definitely want to manage the young man's minutes, especially coming off a serious injury like that. So Chris Serbin will get the start here in the second half in favor of Brett Levi's. As we get going here in the second half now, Tier Young will start on the right, as he did start in the first half, but he did bear some fruit on the left side with that opening goal.
Totally, and him and Kaffa after that goal just seem to have a new lease of life about them. Interesting to see if they come out in the second half with that kind of same aggression.
We'll see Marco Bustos on the ball now, left-footed infield, a quick dummy now. Gloria Amanda's going to have a right-footed shot. Did it take a deflection? It did. And it'll go out for a corner here. Gloria Amanda putting the laces behind it, and Tulsa deflected out for an early corner here in the second half.
Yeah, we're talking about aggression. The Whitecaps coming straight off the bat here with a shot. Nice work by Bustos to set up Amanda. Just takes that deflection. It was going to be goal bound otherwise. So another corner for the Whitecaps. Can they do something with it this time?
David Norman Jr., the usual suspect from these corners. Usually him and Bustos serve it up. It will be Jr. this time. Low and hard to the top of the area. Looked like a training ground routine, but it is thumped away by Paris G, I want to say, got the foot behind there. Chris Serban getting his first touch on the ball now. Baldissimo back to Norman. Left-footed ball into the area. Useful one, too. Cole Seiler just not able to reach it. Taryn Campbell has a left-footed lash, and it falls into the arms of Stephen Cleveland. That looked like some promising early play for the Caps.
It did there, but another bit of a waste from a corner. Fourth corner for the Whitecaps in this match so far. None of them have really caused much problems for this Tulsa defence.
You had that one Francis DeVried headed effort in the first half, but it tamely went over the bar. Not much real mustard behind it. And you're right, Michael, if the Caps are going to want to stay in the playoff hunt mathematically and claim 3 points, which they absolutely need here tonight, if they don't want to be eliminated from that scenario, they need to capitalize on those chances.
Oh, 100%. And Tulsa's just going to be happy to sit back, soak up some pressure, go for this 1-0 win. Win tonight keeps them in 5th place, moves them up to 40 points. Whitecaps right now, the maximum points they can get from their 7 games would take them to 43. That's only good enough for 5th spot right now. So they have no room for error. If they want to look at making the postseason for the 2nd straight year, they need to turn this game around, and they need to do it quick.
Marco Bustos, lofted ball over the top for Taryn Campbell. He won't give up the chase. It's put out into touch now by Jaime Ayala. Equal to the task there is Ayala, right on the back of Taryn Campbell, who definitely had his number in the first half, but it didn't bear fruit for the Caps. Thrown into the area now, Chris Serban looking to catch Tulsa sleeping in the back. Not overly effective though, but he has won his side a throw-in again.
I think it's already starting to feel it's going to be a half where we're not going to catch our breath. It's just going to be non-stop action, which is great to comment on, great to watch at home as well.
Absolutely love the youthful energy here in the USL as Chris Serban takes on his man. Here comes the left-footed cross. It is blocked though by Ayala. Serban wins another corner for his side, and we'll see if they can make something of it this time.
Losing Levi's, it is a blow to the Caps, but Serban's another left-back that likes to get up and down that wing. So expect to see him do a lot of that in this half. So let's see what David Norman can do here with the 5th corner for the Caps of the match.
This one put right into the heart of the area. It does take a flick. Did it hit a hand in there? The referee says yes, penalty. It bobbled around in the area. It took a couple deflections. I want to say it came off the arm of Joaquin Rivas. I may be mistaken. Maybe we can catch a replay on that one. Maybe Ugarte, who's doing a lot of the lobbying here. David Norman whips it in left-footed. Let's see.
Yep.
Ooh, and that is harsh. It was bobbling around, but his arms weren't necessarily tucked in, Michael.
No, you can always say it was almost 2 handballs there. But right away, I looked to the referee to see if he was going to blow. He didn't blow immediately, so I thought he wasn't going to give it. Credit to him. Thought about it, put it to the spot. Let's see what the Whitecaps can do here.
It's Marco Bustos standing over it, left-footed, no doubt. Plenty of chances in that last match versus LA. He'll want to make amends here. Can he level it for the Whitecaps? 50th minute, Marco Bustos standing over it. Bustos steps up, left-footed into the corner of the net. He goes the opposite way. He sends Stephen Cleveland the right way, doesn't get to it. It's a 1-1 scoreline. 50th minute, Whitecaps FC 2-1, Tulsa Roughnecks 1.
Bustos celebrating over at the fans now. His 7th goal of the year, 6th penalty of the year. He does not miss. Deadly from 12 yards out. Game back on now, 1-1. We talked that the Whitecaps really had to turn this around quickly. They've done it. Can they capitalise on this now? I mean, Bustos, this was a perfect penalty there. Cleveland didn't have any chance at all.
Get another look at it here, right into the seam of the net. That's almost impossible to stop for keepers. A perfectly taken penalty by Marco Bustos. You can tell he's excited, but he knows that the job is not done yet. He wants the full 3 points. Now as Ayala carries forward for the Tulsa Roughnecks, they're not just going to lay down either. As you hear the Langley crowd support Marco Bustos, he'll definitely be happy with that one. Plenty of chances against the Galaxy last week, not able to get onto the score sheet. Makes a bit of an amends there.
Curious about his celebration, just kind of slapping his inside of his arm there. Not sure what that was about, but nice to see him celebrate. I've given him a bit of a hard time this year because he sometimes doesn't celebrate when he scores. He certainly did there.
1-1 now in the 51st minute as Baldissimo will carry upfield. He's going to send the ball along for Kane Chung. Is he? No, he holds it up. May have elected to go for Kane Chung there, but Marco Bustos is going to attack the back line. He's carrying on. He's still going. Bustos left-footed shot, and it's palmed over by Stephen Cleveland. Marco Bustos has his tail up now. He can smell it.
Lovely run by Bustos there. Trying to get the perfect room to get the shot off. Did well. Good save by Cleveland, though. Picks the ball up, cuts inside. looks for the spot. Sweetly struck, but really Cleveland had that easily covered. It was never really going to get past him, I don't think.
David Norman Jr. now, service from the far corner. High and into the area, into the 6-yard box. A diving effort from Taryn Campbell, and it's cleared off the line. The second great corner in the row. The first one amounted to a penalty and a goal. David Norman puts it in hard back post. Taryn Campbell lashes the effort on net, Michael.
I think it was Rivas that was on the line there. Looked like it was going too far, but Campbell sticks the leg out nicely off the line there by Rivas.
Taryn Campbell's wondering what he's got to do to get on the score sheet. Marco Bustos now over the ball, near corner. Left-footed service into the area. It's a fine ball. Across to Cole Seiler. It's palmed away, only as far as Baldissimo. Baldissimo now regrouping. Left-footed on the deck to Bustos. Is he onside? He is. He'll take on his man. And the referee adjudges a foul on Marco Bustos. Bustos lobbying for the penalty again there. Just a bit of a tangle of legs, though, but two promising corners for the Whitecaps after the first four had left them begging.
Yeah, and Tulsa's going to be happy now that there's a bit of a break. I mean, not a lot in this. Not really, I don't know, I didn't think it was a free kick for either team, really. Just a little bit of a tussle. But Tulsa's going to be happy now, break this game up, get a little bit of time to compose themselves, regroup, because they've been under the cosh for these opening 7 minutes here.
You can tell Marco Bustos is definitely up after that penalty, though. He collected the ball on that recent spell of attacking play and just went at his man, wasn't afraid to run at 4 or 5 defenders, and that's when Marco Bustos is kind of at his best, when he has you on your back heels and guessing which way he's going to go, and in the end, he gets a fine effort on net.
He's definitely a confidence player. A lot of the guys in this team are, when their confidence is up, when they've got a goal, when they know they're in the ascendancy, they're playing lovely football. They have done it all year. They have a tendency sometimes to let their heads drop a little bit. I mean, they're doing well here. Another break here with Baldissimo setting up Serbin on the left.
Serbin coming in on the left side now. He'll cut back to his right. No overlap. He'll elect to go back to Baldissimo. Fine service from Baldissimo all night so far in the middle of the pitch. And another spread ball. Excellently done. Caden Chung now goes short. We're tussled off the ball a bit there.
Tulsa just can't get on the ball at the moment. When they have it, they're just giving it away too quickly. They need to try and calm this game down a bit. 1-1 still suits them, a point on the road. They'd be happy with that. But the way the game's going now, you feel it's the Caps in the ascendancy, and if any team's going to get a second, it looks like Vancouver.
Fine ball across from De Vries, just not able to be reeled in by Baldissimo there. Michael Baldissimo.
5th game of the season here in Langley for Whitecaps 2. 2 wins and 2 losses on the year. Looking to make that 3 tonight. 7 games, including this one, left. And they've got a tough run in the Whitecaps, but there's some very winnable games in there. Their toughest one is a road trip to the runaway leaders Real Monarchs. But, I mean, the other 6, including tonight's one, do look very winnable. So, I mean, who knows?
Looks like the Tulsa Roughnecks have made a sub. Ayala is coming off, Joey Calistri coming in. We'll see what that does as far as the Tulsa Roughnecks are concerned. Ayala was putting in a shift back there, but he was terrorized a bit by Taryn Campbell. Maybe whether it was a knock or maybe some fatigue. Joey Calistri comes in his place.
Calistri is one of a couple of guys on this Tulsa team that is on loan from Chicago Fire, including the goalkeeper, Cleveland.
It's a giveaway now to Bustos. Sorry, Michael, to cut you off. Bustos now back to Chris Serbin. And he'll elect to go backwards, as you were, sir.
Oh, I was just saying, Chicago Fire have given a couple of players to this team. Calistri, dangerous guy. He's kind of made 24 appearances on the year so far. I was a little bit surprised that he wasn't in the start tonight. Serbin loads of room out here on the left.
And Cole Seiler will pick him out. Well spotted, Michael. And Serbin will take on his man. A little bit of a headed sombrero over top. A tangle of legs. Serbin does lose the ball there, but some promising attacking play from the left back here.
That was dangerous from Tulsa to give a guy like Serbin that much room out wide.
And they'll spread it far stick for Christian Tieryoung now. He'll take on his man into the area, but just behind Ian Svantesson. They've had a quiet start, that trio, Kaffa, Tieryoung, and Svantesson. They looked very promising in the final minutes of that first half. And there's a fantastic run being made far stick. Can Taryn Campbell find it? He does, and he efforts for a left-footed lash. Caden Chung had made an unmarked run at the back post. Had Taryn Campbell been able to find the seam, it could have been a fine chance for the Whitecaps.
You do feel, though, Taryn Campbell's got a goal in him tonight. He's full of confidence, full of running, not afraid to shoot either. I fancy him to pop one away tonight. But, I mean, we talked a lot at the start about Svensson, and he had a really good start. He looked dangerous for Tulsa. For me, he dropped out of the game quite a lot in the last 10-15 minutes of the first half, and he's just never really got back in the groove so far in this second half.
Svensson wins the ball in the air, though. You feel that is maybe his strong suit, is those aerial duels and those flicks and knockdowns and chest downs and what have you.
Well, I mean, he's their leading scorer, 10 goals. Calistri, that's come on, has 7 goals in the year, so he is a guy that knows how to find the back of the net as well.
That's a heavy touch from Sean Melvin. He does manage to get out of his feet, though, and Francis DeVries is forced to hump it up the field. That was risky business, though, but Sean Melvin doing the business as Gloria Mando wins a foul upfield.
Quickly taken as well. Caps just want to get on with this as soon as they can.
That's some fine work by Taryn Campbell, too. Not looking out of sorts as Taryn Campbell. He's looked very much the part here for Whitecaps FC tonight. Definitely their biggest threat going forward. As Marco Bustos takes it down. Now he's going to take on his man. And his favorite left foot, he's going to have a rip. And it's going to go over the bar, though. You feel Bustos anywhere from around that just outside 25, 30-yard range. He isn't afraid to have a crack.
Yeah, we've seen him pop away a few goals like that as well. He's definitely got the bit between his teeth now. He wants to add to this. And he's a guy, he does have a number of multi-goal games under his belt as well for USL in the residency. I've watched him, I think, since he's about 15 coming here, and he's just got such a talent. And it's frustrating sometimes that he just can't bring it game in, game out, because he is one of the most talented individuals at any level, I think, of the Whitecaps organisation right now.
And you can see Tulsa in no mood to rush things here. They're just taking their time and slowing this one down.
They really want to try and get their breath back here and try and regroup.
I thought maybe the switch of Chris Serban and Brett Levi's would take a little bit of the sting out of the Whitecaps' left side here, especially with the interlinking play with Taryn Campbell. But Chris Serban hasn't looked out of place here, has he?
Not at all. I was a big fan of Serban when he came out of the residency. He had 1 year with the residency after moving out from Calgary, and he's a talented fullback. He can play left back, he can play right back. He went to UBC and excelled at UBC as well. He actually split his time the first 2 seasons, played USL, played UBC as well. No longer eligible to play for UBC. And then he's had some injuries which has really set his career back, but I like what he brings to the team, and I'm glad that the Whitecaps have kept him around, and hopefully he can go on and kind of show some of that early promise that he had.
The Whitecaps will regroup now through the back. Cole Seiler, no stranger to lifting those long lofted balls, as we've seen in the last match against LA Galaxy. Caden Chung in oodles of space here in the center of the park. He's going to press a right-footed shot just wide of the far post. It was a worm burner, didn't have too much pace on it, had the goalkeeper stretching, but in the end it goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, another close call there for the Whitecaps, and we actually had a tweet come in from Chris Corrigan, which we'll come to in a sec.
Excellent. Caden
Chung.
Nice
turn from Chung there.
Finds the pocket, but just side foots it past the far
post.
He's
had a couple of close calls.
It's the long ball over the top now for Joey Calistri.
Referee's seen something he doesn't like.
Seems there might be a little bit of argy-bargy here. Is he pointing at Gloria Amanda? He's having a conversation with Amanda and Ugarte. It looks like perhaps a foul behind the play that was whistled back.
I think it was. But what I was going to say is we've had a tweet in from Chris Corrigan at Salish C86 who says he believes Bustos has a tattoo on his arm dedicated to a cousin who died when she was young. So it's possibly an anniversary date or something of that.
This celebration, Michael speaking, of course, tapping the arm after he put away that penalty to equalize, as it's Calistri now in the area, left-footed, takes a bit of deflection, goes back stick, and it's Svensson, and it's in the net. Far back stick, unmarked. It looked like Baldissimo might have gotten a touch in. Tough angle to judge it, but Svensson redirects it with the outside of the right foot. And it's 2-1 Tulsa in the 61st.
Both Tulsa goals against the run of play. I mean, that's what a top quality away team has to do. Like, bunker in, soak up the pressure, and then take your opportunities when they can. Tulsa's certainly done that tonight. We talked about Svensson hadn't done a lot so far at the end of the first half and second, not needing a lot of opportunities. Ball in here. Yeah, should have been dealt with better by the defence, but lovely finish by Svensson.
It's Baldissimo at the back stick, it looks like. Just
yeah.
not able to get that long leg in the way.
Matthew just couldn't get to that. Melvin kind of thought Baldissimo had it. Svensson did well, ghosting in at the back, completely unmarked, no one tracking the run, lovely finish. Ends a 4-game streak without a goal, 11th of the season now for Svensson. 2-1 to Tulsa. Do they deserve to be in the lead? You can argue either way, but they've taken their chances, whereas the Whitecaps haven't, and that's all that really matters.
Tough goal to see for the broadcasters too, Michael. He was in so tight on that byline and that near post. It looked like he almost got side netting.
Yeah, at first I didn't think he had put it in, and then you just gently saw it nestle into the opposite corner. And
another chance now as Calistri's going to take on his man. A right-footed rip and a goal. Sean Melvin gets a touch, but only able to palm it into the roof. The substitute, Joey Calistri, comes on with a right-footed effort, and it's 3-1 Tulsa in the 62nd. The game has been turned on its head.
I told you, Calistri knows his way to go. 8th of the year now, and what a strike. Catching the Whitecaps cold. 2 goals in just over a minute of play. Long road back now for the Caps. We'll get another look at this one, but Whitecaps just
look like they didn't deal with that original ball. Someone just needs to stick a foot in there.
Couldn't get a foot in. Calistri, lovely finish though. You've got to give him full credit for that. Melvin not happy with his defence. You have to feel that Serbin really should have done more there and muscled him off the ball, got a foot in. 3-1. Certainly not a 3-1 game from Tulsa when you look at how the chances have gone. But as I said with the second, this is what you want to do. You go on the road, you take your chances. We've seen it with the Whitecaps' first team a lot in MLS this season. Tulsa doing exactly that here.
And the Whitecaps are going to have a go at them back, but it rolls through Gloria Amanda's legs and out for a goal kick.
I've really liked what Tulsa's done in that attacking third. It's like they've had their chances, they've looked dangerous, they're clinical when it matters, and that's something that's going to carry them far into the playoffs if they can do that. They can soak up this amount of pressure and still come away with a road win with a couple of goals against the run of play, then who knows what lies in store for them.
Absolutely, Michael. And just as we were talking about the likes of Svantesson and Kaffa and Tyryoung kind of turning off, Svantesson and the super sub Calistri pop up in the space of no less than 3 minutes and put the dagger in, and the Whitecaps have a mountain to climb now if they're to keep any slim mathematical playoff hope alive.
Well, I said I was surprised Calistri didn't start. He's got such a good pedigree. He's played in MLS for Chicago. He has a goal in MLS for Chicago against Colorado on June 18th and last season. And this season, he's tried to seize his opportunity here in Tulsa.
And we'll see another sub from Tulsa now, as it looks like Christian Tyryoung will come off. Coming in will be Kosuke Kimura. We'll see what that sub does. Obviously, Tyryoung kind of falling off in the second half, but he had a very positive first half, contributing to that opening goal for Tulsa.
Yeah, he looked good at the end of the first, start the second, and maybe an eye of just trying to mix things up, trying to close down, kill this game off a little bit. Bringing in Kimura.
It's Baldissimo now. He'll play it out wide. Chris Serban, the late man in. He has time to serve it up. Elects to take on his man. He'll cut it back. Right-footed cross into the area. A diving header from Amanda goes up and dealt with at the back post now by Joaquin Rivas, And they'll calm things back, but a decent bit of service there from Chris Serban, as the Whitecaps more or less have to throw everything forward here.
Yeah, and I mean, bringing Kimura on, he's a defender, wealth of experience. He's played for Colorado, I think it's 100 or so games, Colorado Rapids in the MLS. And they really want to kind of just shore up this back line now. The Caps were getting their chances. There was some space there. Let's see if they're still going to get those spaces.
Back in field for David Norman Jr. Tidy left-footed ball in. Is Marco Bustos fouled just outside the area? He is, and that's a fine spot. Looked to be minimal contact from our area. Tulsa definitely not happy with that decision, but the Whitecaps have won a free kick in a very great spot, especially for the left-footed Bustos or David Norman Jr.
At first I thought it was in the box, just the way the line was there. It kind of threw me a little bit, but good spot by the referee. We'll see it again here. Norman playing the ball into Bustos.
Literally just on the line there.
Yeah, right into the back of him. Maybe a little bit soft, but Whitecaps need all the luck going for them at the moment.
Absolutely. Might be a little too close for Bustos or Norman to get the ball up and over and into the net. We'll see. It is quite tight. It's literally on the 19-yard line, more or less.
I think we might see Bustos take this one. We've seen him bury quite a few free kicks over the years. Can he do it again? As you say, it is a little bit close to get it up and over. Another option, though, is to play it back to Baldissimo, who does have a really good strike on him, and he's at a good distance to try and hit it if they do play it back.
Taryn Campbell, Gloria Amanda also lurking around the vicinity in case there's a layoff or a rebound so they can jam home at the pieces.
Looks like Norman's going to take it now. Bustos has moved off the ball.
This might just have to be a blast it and pray kind of thing. We'll see what happens here.
Definitely a gap to the right of the keeper here.
And here comes David Norman Jr., left-footed. Rip along the deck and calmly into the arms of Stephen Cleveland. Sometimes those can be a goalkeeper's nightmare if you don't get the right clutch on it, but not enough really pace to really cause any issues for Stephen Cleveland. It's still 3-1 Tulsa.
When it goes through a crowd of players like that, anything can happen, but really Cleveland didn't really have to do too much to hold on to that one.
Maybe a bit more pace could have caused a bobble or maybe a rebound off the chance if it took a hop off the turf, but no such thing occurred, and Tulsa let off the hook once again from a dangerous set piece where perhaps the Whitecaps have maybe be a little bit frustrated after this one that they didn't make more of their opportunities as Tulsa come forward now. It's Juan Kafa, the game's opening goal scorer. He shields his man, David Norman Jr. And they've won a foul.
If we're looking at the Whitecaps bench, see what possible changes Rich Fagan might want to make. Thomas Sanner coming on looks to be the only obvious choice, a big target man to try and get something going. No one else really brings a kind of goal-scoring threat to them. Noah Verhoeven, the academy product, they may give him a run out on the bench for the second straight game. Might want to just see what he can do at this level if they feel that the game has gone. But right now the game hasn't gone. They can still get this back.
Here's the service in the area, flicked on only as far as Baldissimo. Awkward clearance, and it's dealt right back into the area. Juan Kafa will collect it, and he'll take on Baldissimo. Left-footed into the box, and it's touched out. Is it a goal kick? It is. No, it's not. It's a corner kick. I thought perhaps Joaquin Rivas put the final touch on that one. A little bit of a scramble near Sean Melvin, and Tulsa wins a corner.
And this is perfect for Tulsa. Just keep the ball in the Whitecaps' end for as long as possible. Stop them getting any attacks going. If they can nick a fourth, then you do feel it's game over. Close to that as it is at 3-1 with just over 20 minutes to go.
Tulsa in the area now, headed down into the turf. But a foul in the area. The Whitecaps let off the hook now. Sean Melvin will attempt to play on, blocked by Joey Calistri, and it's played up forward now for Gloria Mandu, who has been a bit quiet in the second half. He had his looks in the first, but maybe by his standards a tad quiet. Marco Bustos, some fine work to shrug off his man in the middle of the field. And he'll play it behind the D for Taryn Campbell. That's a fine ball. He has some time to set up a cross. It comes in. Oh, and a fine touch. Gloria Amanda was lurking there and almost had the final step.
That was a really nice clearance there.
I want to say that was Francisco Ugarte.
Yeah, I think it might have been. No, I don't think it was.
Just got the final touch in. Just a toe ahead of Gloria Amanda, who had made almost an inch perfect run to meet that Taryn Campbell cross. Hasn't been for lack of effort, especially from Taryn Campbell tonight. As we get another look at that, you'll see Campbell getting behind the back line. He puts it in about chest height. It eventually dips. And you're right, it wasn't Ugarte who got the toucher. I want to say it was Jorge Corrales. George, as they call him, as Paris G is on the ball now.
I need better numbers on shorts.
You're looking at shorts, huh?
Yeah.
It's David Norman Jr. Ooh, tough on the edge of the area. It looked like Francis DeVries went to the deck to win the ball there against Joey Calistri.
Thankfully avoiding a booking that would see him miss the next match, but that was a close one.
Yes, right on the edge of the area, almost in the identical spot where Marco Bustos won his foul mere moments ago.
In fact, they've put it back a little bit. 22 yards out.
Almost a little bit better for the striker of the balls. It gives you a little bit more airspace to kind of get it up and over, let it dip, let kind of the air and the flight of the ball do some damage to the goalkeeper. So I'm sure they don't mind that it was dragged back a couple yards, as Juan Kafa will stand over it. Left-footed, he's going to go for a shot, and it's not a bad effort. Melvin looked like he had it covered. It goes over the bar eventually, but not a bad effort for Juan Kafa, especially up 3-1.
Yeah, I see Kafa here. I like Buswa being in the wall. I like when teams put players in the wall, opposing teams. It's like, mix it up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Get a little bit of argy-bargy going.
Looks like Sean Melvin has kind of dragged his goalposts off their their line there in that last save. The referee, Alain Rouche, asked him to adjust it. And Sean Melvin obliges him as Marco Bustos now is behind the back line. Doesn't have much in the way of options. He's kind of been hemmed in there. It'll go back for a corner now. Baldissimo on it. Baldissimo into the feet of Gloria Amanda. Feel the Whitecaps might need something special, and they'll probably need to get one soon. You don't want to leave this stuff till the last second.
They must be getting tired now as well. The amount of running and the pressing that they've done in this game, no wonder players like Amanda have kind of dropped off a bit.
Taryn Campbell with a fine slicing ball in behind the back, looking for Chris Urban, but it's cut out by Joey Calistri as the Caps will attempt from a corner again. Corey Basso, your play-by-play man. Michael McCall, it's 3-1 Tulsa against the Whitecaps FC 2, looking to keep their playoff hopes alive. David Norman now from the corner. Left-footed, near post this time, and I think a touch was put on by Francis DeVries there. A little bit of pace, puts the touch, and it just kind of lofts over the bar. A fine idea, not really much time to do much else with it. But the corner does let them down.
And you're looking at this Whitecaps bench, and there's not really any pace on there at all. I mean, Serban's already on. Seymour is a defensive midfielder. You've got Zator as a centre-back.
Sanders more of a target man.
Yeah. And then Noah Verhoeven, who's just a young academy call-up, so...
Paris G across now. Juan Kafa over the top. That's a fine ball, and Sean Melvin comes out, gets the ball, but gets his man also. He did get all ball, but he did kind of couldn't really stop himself in the train tracks there and was forced to pile over the attacking player.
Yeah, clatters into him, but it's a free kick for the Whitecaps. Tulsa player not moved at all since he was clattered there.
Can replay that.
See this again. Kafa again, lovely ball over.
He does get the ball. It rebounds off the head of Corrales. He just couldn't really stop himself in his tracks and just kind of mowed over his man.
Yeah. And while that's going on, there's a substitution for the Whitecaps. Marco Bustos is heading out and Will Seymour is coming in. A little bit of a surprising one. Maybe to kind of, maybe they possibly feeling that Tulsa's just getting through a bit and they want to kind of shore up just in front of this back line here.
Will Seymour, of course, getting the start in last week's victory, 2-1 victory over the LA Galaxy here at McLeod Athletic Park in Langley.
I like Seymour. He's a guy that you can really rely upon. Tough tackler, can play centre-back, defensive midfielder. Not exactly what the Whitecaps are needing when they're 2 goals down with 17 minutes to go. But concern here on the Tulsa side because Corrales has not moved hardly at all since getting clattered there.
No.
I think he's still lying face down by the looks of it.
It does not look good for Jorge Corrales.
Well, he's moving his legs now, which is a good sign because I hadn't seen him move anything at all up to this point.
Of course, you can stay up to date on all the latest USL news and info from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on Sirius XMFC. Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XMFC will air the USL Game of the Week. Check USLsoccer.com for dates and times as well as the result of this match from around the league as well, so you can see kind of how the playoff picture sorting out. Real Monarchs running away with it in the West.
Yeah, Real Monarchs have been a force all season long. San Antonio as well. Reno, the surprise packages for me. Expansion team, first season in the league, currently sitting 3rd. Hammered LA Galaxy earlier in the season as well in one of the most memorable games as well. Good to see Corrales up now, getting helped off the pitch. I think he's going to come back on. He's a key player for Tulsa, so it's a good thing he's not injured. Cuban international, played at the 2015 Gold Cup for Cuba. He'd be a big loss if he was out, but it looks like he's going to be good. I think he's going to continue, possibly checking some concussion protocols there just to make sure that he isn't too foggy-headed.
Absolutely. A little bit of scrappy play there in the middle of the park, but David Norman Jr. sorts it out with a quickly timed pass, and it's into the feet of Gloria Amanda, right-footed. He's going to cut it back across, not as far as Taryn Campbell, though, and it's picked out by Stephen Cleveland. It looked like a promising break there between Gloria Amanda with Taryn Campbell rushing in the box.
Yeah, another promising attack that comes to nothing though for the Whitecaps, and Campbell just can't get a break in front of goal tonight, sadly.
Long lump ball forward. Francis DeVries will come across to deal with it left-footed. He'll lump it right back up the pitch for Baldissimo and Taryn Campbell to sort out. And a bicycle kick clearance pass, which the fans will applaud regardless of the team. For the Whitecaps will regroup. You always like to see a good bicycle pass.
That, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Showboating now for the last few minutes of this game.
Absolutely. As we see Caden Chung on the far side. He's got Will Seymour as an outlet. He is taken down, though, and the Caps will get a free kick. Possibly some service into the area, should they fancy it. No, they'll continue play on the deck. But it looks like the referee's giving Ian Svanteson a card, possibly for dissent. Didn't see a foul behind the play there. Maybe just a little bit too chirpy, Svanteson, but
yeah,
he finds his way into the book.
I think he must have said something there. Silly booking to pick up. Kind of booking that just drives coaches nuts, especially when you don't know how important that could be down the stretch. You could end up missing a key game.
Whitecaps FC2 will go long into the box. They originally played it on the deck and got play rolling right away, but now that they've had some time to think about it, maybe that Svanteson yellow card brought them to their wits, and they're going to lump it in the area and see what they can do with the ball in the box. It's lifting long and hard. Glory Amanda gets a header. It's off the bar. It's Cole Seiler. The post make it. Excellent contact, a glancing header. It takes a hop off the turf, and the Whitecaps just cannot buy one. Cole Seiler off the woodwork.
Second one off the post for the Caps tonight. How close are they going to get? This could easily have been a 4-4, 5-all game so far.
Absolutely. Brett Levi is the man who came off at halftime, thumped one against the far upright at the end of the first half, and now his fellow man along the back line, Cole Seiler, a header down into the turf, bounces off the upright, and he pounds the turf afterwards. Very frustrating night for Cole Seiler. It remains 3-1, 79th minute now between Tulsa and FC2.
I know every team says this, but the Caps have just not had some breaks this year.
Here's Will Seymour now. He'll play it down to Glory Amanda. He's going to have a shot. Is he? No, he elects to lay it off. I want to say it was Caden Chung lurking in the background waiting for the dummy, but it just never got to him. Maybe Glory Amanda should have just had one there. There's a handball from Ian Svanteson. That's his second offense in 30 seconds or less.
He didn't know much about that, though.
Get a replay of this post effort. David Norman, a long ball with the left foot. And Cole Seiler makes the run inside, gets the perfect contact on it, an inch the other way, and that's a goal for the Whitecaps.
Yeah, so close yet again. Get another look at it here. Lovely corner in from David Norman, and he did everything right. It's like Brett Levi's in the first half did everything right. It's just needed another inch inwards. And while that was going on, another substitution for Tulsa. Whitecaps will be pleased to see Juan Pablo Cafa head out. Number 10 out, replaced by number 23, Brady Ballou.
What does this switch mean for Tulsa, Michael? You're my armchair coach. Tell me what it means.
I think it means they're just wanting to try and soak up and see out the rest of the game. Ballou is a midfielder, so it's not as if it's an overly defensive kind of substitution. But, I mean, taking Cafa out, he did cause a lot of problems in this half, so that's good from a Whitecaps point of view. I think Tulsa's just wanting to steady up the midfield and just not let the Whitecaps run through it anymore.
And here he is, Ballou on the ball. His first touch, a fine layout for Svanteson, but it's dealt with on the Whitecaps back line. Early dividends almost there for that substitution.
And Ballou's got a bit of pedigree with him as well. 2015 he was up for Rookie of the Year in USL. Mostly used as a substitute though so far this season for Tulsa.
Little lull in play here as Tulsa looks to get it going. Spike outside our broadcast window.
Hopefully not about to hit his drum.
No. Staring at me awkwardly. Love Spike. As the ball's in the area now, just not able to be corralled by the Tulsa offense. Another rolled out ball goes begging there. But the Caps will regroup, and they've got 10 minutes plus stoppage, Michael, to see what they can make out of this, or they might have to wave goodbye to the playoffs for 2017.
Yeah, I mean, getting 3 goals back in this period of time is a tall ask. 2 is a big ask. Right now, Tulsa look comfortable. and it's hard to maybe even see the Caps getting another one back anytime soon. I do think they might nick one before the end, but I think it might be too little too late.
Chris Urban now up the touchline. He'll lay it back for Taryn Campbell. A fine ball into the area. Glory Manda will chase it. Baldissimo, or is it Caden Chung at the back stick? No, it was Baldissimo.
We still haven't seen Thomas Sanner come on, which is a bit of a surprise for me, because Amanda has tired a little bit, but no sign of Sanner. And another stoppage coming up here. Is another Tulsa player down in a lot of pain.
Looked like a head knock. Baldissimo just coming over the back here.
In fact,
Ooh.
it's Corrales again.
Yeah,
he's been through the wars in the last 5 minutes.
No, absolutely. Corrales has definitely put in a shift, and then Baldissimo just trying to get that little bit of jump and a little bit of a whiplash effect there as his head snaps back into Baldissimo's shoulder.
You have to be concerned as well. That's 2 head knocks in the space of 5 minutes for him. If I was a Tulsa coach, I'd try and just get him off now, just to make sure that he's okay. Line prone again, but
of course Tulsa have made all 3 of their subs, as they have reduced subs. The USL, they used to have 5 subs aside, but now it is 3.
You have to think of his health though. It's like, if it means going down to 10 men for the last few minutes of this match just to make sure that he is okay, I would get him out of there. Of course, I'd get him out of there so that the Whitecaps have a man advantage, but then that's a whole other thing altogether.
Michael, you're so sporting.
Yes. I should move to Kansas City.
Yeah. As it looks like Corrales will be walked off to the side, or he looks like a tough customer. He's probably going to have a swig of water, a quick jog up and down the sidelines by the far advertising boards. And the Whitecaps will make their final substitution as well. It is Gloria Amanda coming off.
For Thomas Sanner, just like I said, where is Thomas Sanner?
Michael McCall and his crystal ball, the clairvoyance of it all.
Well, if we're looking at crystal balls, I have seen Thomas Sanner score a hat-trick to win a match. You were commentating on that game.
Absolutely. Our very first affair here at McLeod Athletic Park, where they came from behind to beat, I want to say it was Arizona, on a Tommy Sanner hat trick.
If he can do that again, then I think we have to give him the keys to Langley.
Absolutely. As Tulsa collect in the middle of the park, it doesn't look like they're ready to just step off the gas pedal just yet. They are trying to control it and slow it down, but if it means an extra foray, I don't think they're going to be too bashful to get forward as Paris G works his way down the near side touchline. Is it out of play? No, it's not. Back to Bradley Ballou. Brady Ballou make it.
Not seen a lot from G tonight. I kind of expected a bit more of him against his former club. Whitecaps never really gave him a look. He left the residency program and then went 1 year at SFU Clan here in BC before heading over to Croatia. Spike is now in front of us banging his drum, as you may hear.
As you can hear, rallying the fans here in Langley. See if they can at least draw a point out of this. The Caps needing whatever they can get their hands on to stay alive in the playoffs. David Norman Jr. leans forward on a challenge there, but it rebounds harmlessly to Ugarte, who will clear long and hard for Calistri. The score of a fantastic third goal for Tulsa.
Tulsa just happy to keep the ball in the Whitecaps' side of the park now. So, I mean, for anyone watching the stream, they might not know who this Spike person is that we're talking about. How would you describe him, Corey?
A very tall, aggressive-looking bird.
Yeah.
Scary to some, friendly to others. As you see Paris G get into it now. Throws it in. David Norman Jr. will hump it long to Taryn Campbell, who traps it down nicely, but is wrestled off the ball. A little bit of a tame layoff there from Campbell. It looked like he was frustrated with his effort. But they'll work it forward now. Chris Urban back in field for Taryn Campbell.
Yeah, game's got a little bit sloppy now.
Yeah, a little sloppy would be fair to say, as Francis DeVries carries it back now. Almost as if both sides kind of just want to see this thing out. Obviously the Whitecaps would love a couple more cracks on net, but they've definitely had their chances.
And the Caps have 6 games left after this. They're already 9 points behind the last playoff team, which is Phoenix Rising, who will have played 4 games less than them. So, I mean, you're kind of looking at the 7th place team, Colorado Springs Switchbacks, as the team they may be looking to catch. 12 points behind them with 6 games to go. Big task ahead if the Caps want to get back into the post-season picture.
Absolutely. Not only do they have to have their results go their way, but they definitely need a lot of out-of-town help on the scoreboard.
And they have to win at Real Monarchs as well. So
which may be a tough ask. That being said, crazier things have happened. That's why they play the games, Michael. That's why they play the games.
And if nothing else, it's been good experience and battling performances by a number of these guys. A lot of them could be playing for their place here, of course, next season as well. You don't know what's going to happen. There's always a big turnover with Whitecaps too.
Brady Ballou now lays it back for Joey Calistri. The subs combining. Calistri's going to take it in now. Is he going to have a left-footed rip? No, he's going to turn back on his right. Back to Ballou. And he'll roll it back to Paris G. You feel this is what Tulsa want to do. They want to get in the offensive third and then almost just stand on the ball.
I've liked what I've seen from Tulsa tonight, actually, I have to say. And they played well in the first game down there in May, where they beat the Caps really comfortably 3-1. That was a game that saw Gloria Amanda score his first professional goal. I was kind of hoping that might inspire him a little bit tonight, but sadly not. But I mean, Tulsa, they've looked good against the Caps both times this year. And I'm looking forward to seeing, I mean, it's going to be a very interesting playoff picture in the West no matter what.
Ian Sfonteson winning a foul there for his side, getting the studs to the back of the legs, possibly some Nike studs, the official sponsor of USL. For more info, visit NikeSoccer.com. Got tucked into a new pair of Tempos for my indoor league. Fantastic boots, love Nike.
I sadly don't have any need for them sitting on the couch, but if I do decide to wear football boots at home, I'm going to get my Nike ones.
You got to get the Nike soccer slides, very comfortable. On, off, no socks needed, and don't wear them with socks.
My playing days are over.
I'm not talking about playing, I'm just talking about comfort and leisure.
Oh, okay.
David Norman Jr. on the ball now. Fine spreaded ball, far post. And it's a fine touch as he gets around his man. Cut back into the area. It's Taryn Campbell. Oh, it's a left-footed effort that just goes wide of the far post. Possibly his finest effort of the night. He'll definitely want that one back. The Whitecaps within inches of bringing this game to within one.
I don't know how many mirrors Taryn Campbell has broken tonight, but he has been so close on a number of occasions and just not able to find the back of the net. I was sure that was in. Lovely cut back. Poked at it first time. Looked at first when it left his foot, it was heading straight in, but then just narrowly wide. That has set up a good finish anyway.
And Tulsa will put it right back upfield with the big man, Ian Sfonteson, controlling it. He'll eat up a bit of time here for his side. Well, I guess it's one thing if the chances just aren't coming, but the Whitecaps just been a dash unlucky, and Chris Serban fouling Brady Ballou now, tugging a bit on the jerseys. It looked like Ballou had beaten him for pace.
Tulsa is really just going to want to kind of see out these closing minutes here.
About a minute and a half left in regulation before we see what's up for stoppage. Obviously, Jorge Corrales, George, number 13, for Tulsa, going down a couple times in this second half, so you feel it's got to be at least 2 or 3 minutes, which the Caps, I'm sure, will be delighted with, possibly even more they would hope for. As Tulsa just looking to play keep away now, limit the Caps' chances. You know they'll probably come hard for these last couple of minutes here. But you have to feel as if Tulsa have maybe seen this one out.
Yeah, it looks like it. And I want to just, before the end of the broadcast, give a shout out to Kevin Eaton on Twitter at KevinEaton1, who pointed out, I couldn't get the name of who the shirt sponsor was for Tulsa last year. It was Occulto. Okay. Fantastic skull in their strips. Not using them this season, but it was Occulto. So if anyone doesn't know those strips, check it out. Their black one in particular was fantastic.
Perhaps a future in retail soccer kits for you after this gig, hey Michael?
Well, I do like to wear one every week on my radio show.
There you go. As the Whitecaps will collect through the back now, Francis DeVries played on the deck for Baldissimo, but it's just a step behind. Maybe might have suited a ball to Chris Serban there. As the ball comes in field now. 5 minutes added time.
That's enough for a Thomas Sanner hat-trick.
Absolutely, definitely enough time to draw it level, absolutely.
No pressure on the big man, but that's what I'm expecting.
And that's a fine tackle from Chris Serban. It'll roll out for a corner kick, unfortunately, as Ballou's giving him a bit of a time there. The fresh legs of Ballou really going at Chris Serban, who's made his way up and down this touchline and maybe a little bit fatigued now as we draw into the closing minutes.
He's definitely had a tough time out there, not from his own performance, but just he's been having so much stuff thrown at him in the second half.
Corey Basso and Michael McCall here, the play-by-play crew for USL Soccer today, as The Tulsa Roughnecks lead the Vancouver Whitecaps FC 3-1 here in Langley, British Columbia. And they'll just look up to eat some clock. Here's Joey Calistri. Dupes his man and gets past the two of them. Calistri right-footed, cuts it back. It's nodded away by Francis DeVries, but clever play from Joey Calistri. The Whitecaps kind of half expecting him to just stand on the ball, but he burst past his man and kind of made them look foolish, Michael.
Yeah, that was lovely play by Calistri. I thought he was going to take it into the corner flag, and it was just a way to say, oh, I hate this. I hate when a guy takes it to the corner flag. Unless it's your own guy, in which case that's fine. But great little burst, and it's nice to see Calistri still looking to try and get a fourth goal for Tulsa. Because you never know, goal difference can play into things, and heading into this game, Tulsa Roughnecks were on a 0 goal difference.
There you go. Always look for the positives. Always look for the positives. Tommy Sander getting his first touch in there. A nice little chest down in the area moments ago, but just no one in support there to help him out. And Baloo will take on Francis DeVries for position. And it looks as if DeVries might have got a bit of an elbow up on Baloo. Baloo definitely causing havoc there on the right side here between Servin and now DeVries.
It's a yellow card for Francis DeVries, which rules him out of the next game for the Whitecaps.
So Rich Fagan will have some selection issues at the back for his next match as far as the center back position is concerned. As we see the replay here, Baloo just not giving up on any ball, willing to get along the outside. For me, that's just clean body position, but maybe a little bit too army in the air there, a little bit too elbowy for Francis DeVries.
Yeah, that's sad to see DeVries missing the next match, which is going to be on Saturday. Well, it's Sunday, September the 10th. And they're going to be at OKC Energy. Tulsa's next match is also at OKC Energy on the 17th.
Tulsa will be happy with this result, especially definitely how the way the first half played out, with the Whitecaps getting a majority of the chances, but they went into the half 1-0 up. The Caps made an early first half push of it, but a couple goals in a span of less than 3 minutes really plunged the dagger in for the Caps.
Yeah, and Tulsa killing the clock fantastically here. Don't think we're going to see this Sander hat trick. The fact he just had his first touch of the ball wasn't probably a good sign for that happening.
No, absolutely. Probably definitely, as you said, Michael, maybe would have wanted to make that Sander substitution a bit earlier, as he was the one offensive threat coming off the bench.
Yeah, but I mean, that great win for Tulsa. Keeps them 5th in the West. It will move them up to 40 points, 5 points behind 4th place Swope Park Rangers. They've 6 games left after this. Looking at the playoff picture just now, underneath them you've got Sacramento, 36 points, Colorado Switchbacks, 34 points, and Phoenix Rising and OKC Energy both on 33 points. So the battle for the playoff positions is definitely going to go down to the wire. Doesn't look like the Whitecaps are going to be involved in that battle, barring a miraculous ending 6-game winning run.
The numbers are not in the Whitecaps' favor, as it's put in the area by Cole Seiler, almost as far as Thomas Sander, but kind of clumsily dealt with by Stephen Cleveland, but he eventually gets it under wraps. Tommy Sander was lurking.
Kind of looks like it's between 9 teams for the 8 playoff spots, but don't count out Orange County yet in 11th. They do have games in hand, and they're sitting 4 points shy of the playoff picture right now.
Tommy Sander will give chase. Cleveland will thump it only as far as Chris Servin, who has time to corral it. He is pressed, though, by Baloo, who has been good in his limited minutes here in the second half. Davey Norman Jr. has some space to run into. He'll play it left-footed into Taryn Campbell. A quick flick for Tomer. Back to Campbell. Oh, and a tame effort right into the solar plexus of Cleveland. That was a quick 1-2 between Campbell and Sander.
I just want Campbell to get his goal for tonight. Taryn Campbell's play has been excellent. Might have him as a Whitecaps man of the match. I mean, we're just going to see this again here. Nice little play with Sander. Weak shot in the end, really. Was never going to trouble Cleveland.
Baloo now on our near side touchline. As the final whistle blows here at McLeod Athletic Park in Langley, as the Vancouver Whitecaps fall 3-1 to the Tulsa Roughnecks. Marco Bustos did get on the score sheet from the penalty spot early in the second half. They look to have turned it around, but a couple goals in the span of 3 minutes or less, and Tulsa Roughnecks run away with this one, 3-1 here in Langley.
Tulsa did what they needed to do, played a perfect road game, hit when it mattered. Whitecaps be disappointed not to get anything from this. They had their chances, but ultimately, if you don't take them, they count for nothing.
Corey Basso and Michael McCall will come back with the full-time highlights as well as some stats for you as well. It's the Tulsa Whitecaps FC 2. We're coming back after these messages.
And once you go upstairs, the second level is basically split in two halves. One is the first team half, and then the other is WFC2 and Academy. So it creates a separation and aspirational motivation to move towards the first team side.
Amazing. First class, man. First class. They thought of everything. And they put me next to a bunch of these Americans in here, so I might need to change that up. Yo hablo español, so... Oh, next to the goalkeeper, that definitely needs to change.
Come on. No, yeah. Everything is controlled by this locker room right here. So every morning you have to come and tell me what list. Yeah.
So far, it's really nice. The locker room's great. The locker room's really good. Definitely surprised. Definitely surprised. I'm really happy with it.
It's a European style with a lot of technology, and obviously for us, how the club is taking care of the players, giving us the tools to step every day in training. With everything we need is fantastic.
Yeah, very nice. I've never seen anything like it. No? See, European style. Like open, you can see face to face. Never seen anything like it.
Welcome back to McLeod Athletic Park here in Langley, British Columbia, Canada. The scene where Whitecaps FC 2 fall at home to the Tulsa Roughnecks by a score of 3-1. Corey Basso along Michael McCall as we give you your final wrap-up after tonight's match. Let's look at some stats, Michael. And obviously the score sheet is the biggest stat, but what other stats stand out to you? Definitely possession in that second half.
Well, the possession was just turned around in that second half. Whitecaps at halftime had 53% possession, finished with 40%. As Tulsa just turned it on. It didn't really feel that it was that kind of game either. 21 shots, though, for the Whitecaps. That is a key. 1 goal from that. 8 shots for Tulsa, 3 goals. 7 shots on target for Whitecaps, 2. Didn't actually feel that they had that much on target, but 2 posts. Without those, could have been a 3-3 game.
Absolutely. Let's look at the full-time match highlights now, Michael. Or should I say the second half highlights. As we saw Ian Sventesson, the score of one of the goals, kick off. David Norman Jr. putting the ball into the area. It hits the hand of Ugarte. Marco Bustos steps up.
Didn't know much about it. Bustos steps up there, buries it. 7th of the season, his 6th penalty of the year as well for the Whitecaps. And he's clinical from that distance.
Absolutely. The tapping the tattoo for a celebration. As you'll see here, Marco Bustos pointing towards the stands, but the Tulsa Roughnecks got right back at it. And it was the big man getting in at the back stick.
Poor defending at the back post there from Baldissimo. He really should have dealt with that. Melvin left it for him. But Sventesson, I mean, you've got to give him credit. Ghosted in, unmarked, put it away nicely. 11th goal of the year, increasing his lead on the team.
The assist from the substitute Joey Calistri, who would also figure in to the 3rd goal for the Tulsa Roughnecks. And he was an absolute beauty as he undressed the Whitecaps defense.
Calistri was excellent after he came on. That was his 8th goal of the year. Lovely finish, lovely strike. Melvin, as you can see there, furious with his defence because Serbian really should have got a boot in there to try and stop that danger.
Absolutely. The Caps weren't done and dusted yet. There was still plenty of time to get back in it, and they definitely almost had a chance here with the center back, Cole Seiler.
I mean, lovely hit. He does everything right. Just needed the post to just be a little couple of inches over to the left. Lovely ball in from Norman, who I thought had a very strong game tonight. Him and Taryn Campbell, for me, were two of the standout Whitecaps. But ultimately, a 3-1 defeat, really, really hitting the Whitecaps' playoff chances.
Absolutely. We thank you so much for watching and listening to USL Soccer tonight. My name is Corey Basso, your play-by-play man, alongside Michael McCall. The Whitecaps falling a 3-1 here in Langley. Marco Bustos with the lone goal as we sign off from the Fraser Valley.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.